No, and also like when you go to New York, you see the grid system they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's so well planned and built and thought out.
Yeah.
But the city planning of Reykjavik is non-existent. Reykjavik looks like
Reykjavik.
it's like a city that was bombed and then rebuilt.
Really?
But it wasn't. It's just been built randomly with different houses here and there and no massive plan.
That's it, you guys. New York summer, the last hurrah, the dead cat bounce. That's what my friend says. Is it a term for investors? A dead cat bounce. It means like if you throw a cat off a roof, off a high roof, land on its feet or not, it's dying, you know. But it'll bounce. Or maybe if you throw a dead cat. Yeah, if you throw a dead cat. Let's say a dead cat. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's say you have a dead cat. You throw it off a roof, and it bounces. And then the idea is you're going to be like, wait, is it back? Because it's going up again. And you're like, no, that's not back. That's just the bounce of a dead cat. That cat is gone. So it's like if a stock is plummeting, and then it starts to go back up a little bit, it's a dead cat bounce. No, that stock's done. It's dead. It's going all the way down. Don't think it's going to rebound now. So we had one of those for New York. The last couple days were wonderful. We had a barbecue, a comedian's barbecue today. Oh, fucking great. Fucking great. Good times. Everybody was there. Joe List, Dan Soder, Mark Normand, Nick Mullen, Stavros, Metzger and Karen, Christine Okerson. Who else? Soder, did I say? Lewis and Dave. Fucking great group. Cantor. Who else? I don't know. Sure, I'm forgetting somebody. Doesn't matter. Dean Del Rey was there. We invited girls. They didn't show up. Yeah, but that's it. That's it for the summer. I missed a lot of it. I missed a lot of the New York summer. I was gone. I was gone in Scotland. I was going on a Scandinavia tour and Iceland too. That was the highlight, you guys. That was the highlight for me for the trip. I mean, Scotland was great. Scotland was great. Drinking that much, having such a great time, honing my new hours, recording. In Austin, Texas, you guys, November 2nd through the 5th. November 2 through 5. If you want to go to the taping itself, November 5th. Don't go to 2 shows. Don't be a dick. Go to 1 show. Same material. But the taping's on November 5th. But come anytime you want. If you can't make it the 5th, that's fine. But if you can, fucking make it the 5th. Yeah, why not? Oh, and tonight at the Bell House in New York, Brooklyn, I'm running that same hour. Tonight, 8 o'clock. Show doors open at 7. I will have a hunt for the edible after the show. As soon as it's over, I'll just jump on my phone. I'll tweet out the clues one by one every 30 or 40 seconds. Hunt for the edible at the Bell House, New York. But really, it's the show. The show is what you should be coming for. The highlight of the trip, the highlight, and I made sure to do an extra day. I did it right. I didn't just go on this quick tour with like city. No, I did 2 days in almost every city. Some of the highlights, get out of here. Problem with having a fucking barbecue. Now I'm gonna have mosquitoes. I'm gonna end up sleeping in the bathroom again. I've done this before. A mosquito will run me out of my bedroom, and I will just sleep in the bathroom. I'll be like, "You win." I'll sleep on the floor in the bathroom. The highlight. Oh, come on. There's that moment when you close your hands. You know, you try to grab it, and you close your hands like, "Please be in there." You squeeze, and you open it up. It's never there. Or sometimes it's there and it flies away, like you didn't squeeze hard enough. That's you had it. You had it on the ropes. Anyway, go to get tickets for either one of those, arithegreat.com. That's it for the End of the Road tour. Then I'm finito. I hope you guys are enjoying This Is Not Happening. The first episode came out. Second episode is this Thursday. I think Maria Bamford's on this one. I think it's Maria Bamford, Andrew WK. I should find out who's on this. But they're all going to be great. No bad episodes this time. Sean Flannery. You got to see Sean Flannery's story. That's the one to watch. I think that might be the Kreischer one too, but I don't know. And we're closing out with Diaz. Right at the 420 mark. Listen, the highlight. So I did 2 days. I had a day off in fucking Bergen, or not Bergen, but everywhere else. Oslo, Copenhagen, Sweden. You know, I did the show day off. Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, did that day off, then the show. The only place I had 2 nights off. Reykjavik, Iceland. You guys, Iceland was the highlight of my trip. The highlight. I had a friend there named Ari Eldjarn. He's a local comedian in Iceland, and I met him a couple years ago. Me and Bobby Kelly did this Denmark Comedy Festival, his Copenhagen Comedy Festival. We met him there. Cool guy. He was in Edinburgh this year for a few days. Hung out there, drank. And he's like, hey, man, while you're in Iceland, let's just hang out. I'll take you around. And I'm like, dude, I'm in. I was already planning on calling you. So Ari Eldjarn, who started comedy in Iceland, and don't get me wrong, everyone hears me wrong when I say that. I don't mean he started doing comedy while he was in Iceland. I do mean that too. I mean, there was no Icelandic stand-up comedy, and then him and his friends started stand-up comedy as a thing in Iceland. We'll talk about it a little on the podcast, but we talk about lots of stuff, and we do it on the road. He took me all around, you guys. We saw geysers. We saw beautiful waterfalls. I mean, Iceland is gorgeous. So much wilderness. I did not ride the horses. So I'll tell you this right away, before we start this podcast. I should have gotten into more of the stuff about religion and in Iceland and about chicks. Maybe I should have gotten his friend too, Ollie. What's his friend's name? I bought his book. Higleikur Dachsson? Wow. Huli is his name. Hugleikur. Anyway, dude, we went to like, okay, first of all, there is no, the TSA in Iceland is the biggest joy. You guys, okay, social experiment real quick. I'm going to tell you how it went. I'm going to tell you the process of flying. We flew from the south to the north. We woke up early the day of the Bieber show. Went to just see Justin Bieber. Saw 2 concerts there. Brian Wilson, then my show, then Justin Bieber. So the day of the Bieber show, we flew north. You go to the airport. You say, hi, I'm Ari Shaffir. I have a ticket for the 6:30 flight to the north. And they go, oh, yeah, we got you down. And then they hand you a ticket. See if you're missing anything right now, how you would normally do this at an airport. So then they hand you the ticket. Missed any steps? You know of one. They hand you the ticket. Then you give that ticket to the gate agent. Miss any steps again? Yep, I believe there's another step we missed. Then you get on the plane. And then you get off when you land. That's it. They don't pat you down. They don't make you step through metal detectors. They don't make you say your name out loud for no reason. I guess when you pick up the ticket, you got to say, my name's Ari Shaffir. But they don't like look at your license even. They don't look at your passport or your license. They don't look at it. I had it in my pocket because I was like, obviously, right? No. It was a breeze. They don't even look through your bag. You just get on the plane. You don't go through anything. I'm here now. Yeah, are we boarding? No, it's delayed. 20 minutes? All right, I'm going to get some tea over here. We ready? Okay, cool. Now, tell you that experience. What did you think in your mind? Each of you at home listening, did you go 2 options? 2 options you could go on that I see. One is you go, yeah, I mean, obviously do that. It's a small country. Nobody wants to bomb them. You know, if they try to do that here, there'd be mass hijackings every week. You can't do that in big places like that. You just can't. It's not a reality. Did you do that? Or did you go the opposite way and go, wow, that sounds great. Man, that sounds cool. Awesome. Man, that's awesome. That's so much fun. It's a breeze, huh? Wow, that's great. Which way did you go? I know we can't go back to that, you guys, but something. Whatever, I'm not going to get into TSA right now. It sure was nice, though. It sure was nice. It was a fun lark. Just going through... Oh, I guess the election's coming up. Let me talk about the elections real quick. Here's how I feel, and then I'll get into Iceland. Maybe I'll get into some more Iceland during the outro. That's what I'll do. No, I'll do the election stuff in the outro. That's what I'll do. Election stuff in the outro. Listen for the outro, everybody. Don't forget, Bell House tonight, Tuesday night, October 18th at 8 p.m. in Brooklyn. Bring a few friends. Let's make it a good show. I still have tickets left. $20, no drink minimum, but you can get drinks. I'm sure they have Pabst at the bar, Brooklyn. Those Brooklyn lagers are good. Anyway, I'm sure they have that. My whole hour, intermission probably in the middle. We'll figure it out. And hunt for the edible. And then Austin, November 5th. Or, if you can't come to that, 4th, 3rd, or 2nd. Yes. What was I going to say? Okay, so he took me to the north. We went to these crazy fucking tar pits. Like, it looks like a fucking moon. It looks like the moon landing. Like you're in a Mars landing. I should say that. Okay, here's my highlight. I'll just tell you the highlight right now. We went to see these so everything is, first we landed, we went straight to the Blue Lagoon. Look it up. Gorgeous. Then the next day, when I played my show, found out Bieber went to the Blue Lagoon himself. Landed at the small airport, took a helicopter to the Blue Lagoon. He must have rented it out. You must have rented it out. No way Bieber's sitting there with commoners. No fucking way. How much would it cost to rent out the whole place? So Ari Eldjarn got us free admission. But it's like $150. It's expensive, but it's gorge. And there's different parts of the Blue Lagoon that as you walk through it, it gets like hotter and cooler, but it never gets cool. It's just this giant fucking hot spring. I mean, it's runoff from a power plant, pretty much. It's all white. Some people put mud on their faces and chalk and shit. And I mean, you can just go and go and go. I mean, it's like, I'm trying to think how big. It's like a football field full of, like two next to each other. Two football fields next to each other full of water that you're in up to, your chest. That was great. Went to Iceland. He showed me the room they set up. They set up this room, this comedy room. It's great. I didn't play there. Had some lunch. It's sleepy. It's a sleepy town, Reykjavik. The Reyk, as I like to call it. We went at like 3 o'clock, couldn't find lunch because people were like, we have like a happy hour menu of like a couple things, but it's not lunchtime. It's the whole country, 350,000 people. 350,000 people. With tourists, it's a lot more. But the whole country is 350,000 people. Reykjavik itself is like 2 to 250. That's it. It's a quarter the size of fucking Nashville. Phoenix has 8 million. That might be wrong, but I remember hearing that once. Greater Phoenix, maybe. Anyway, we go north. There are these hot springs. Forget about the geysers. Guys, it's so fucking gorgeous. The whole country is just lava. The whole island is just a lava island. Do you think it worked when they named Iceland Greenland and Greenland Iceland to throw off the fucking invaders? I mean, that's what they say, right? Remember that from school? They called it Iceland so that everyone would go to Greenland and try to invade there. Yeah, all right. Sure, that makes sense. And if I was like, well, let's take over that fucking place. Let's head to Greenland and take the fuck over. But as soon as I got to Greenland in August and I saw it was all ice, I'd be like, oh, well, let's double back. It's probably the other place. I mean, if this is Iceland, even if I didn't think it was the other place, I'd be like, well, this is Iceland. If Greenland is so icy, let's just stop by Iceland. I can't imagine how icy that is. And you get over there and there's all these fucking gorgeous women who have an app that they have to go on to see if you're related to each other when you're dating. Yeah, that's a real thing. They have a dating app. So you go on there and see if how closely you're related, because there's not many people. Did not see the Aurora Borealis. It was too cloudy. Disappointment. Only disappointment. So there's these hot springs, these volcanic hot springs. And like the kind they shot in remember in Game of Thrones when Jon Snow broke his sacred vow and fucked that wildling? Broke his vow, fucked a wildling. I know you're undercover, but you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. That's a broken vow. And he fucked in that hot tub. So that's what it is. They have these volcanic fissures, and so it heats it to a certain degree. And then if the fissure breaks a little more, it gets a lot hotter. So one of the pools, I think that one they shot for Game of Thrones, used to be a 40 degrees Celsius, 40 degree hot spring, which is, I guess, the right temperature. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. And then there was another crack came, went up to 60 degrees, and people were like, you can't swim in here. It'll fucking scald you. Anyway, somewhere in Iceland, Ari Eldjarn took me to this place where he drove down a lonely, lonely road. And it's to get to some point in this lonely road, and it strikes Ari's memory. This is the place. This is the place. And so we just stop the car, and we start hiking. We just start hiking and hiking. We pass some animals, and we keep hiking. The whole country, the land itself is made of lava. Lava came up, hardened, and then I guess some point soil blew over it, and that's the fucking island of Iceland. It's just these rocky, it looks so fucking weird, and then moss grows over it, this green moss. So we're hiking. At some point, there's this like crack in the, it looks like a fucking, you know the earthquakes from the fucking comic books where it cracks the earth in the middle and mole people come out to take over? It looks like that. And we're walking along this crack in the earth. And then at some point, there's a little, like, hardened lava rock bridge. And he's like, here. And we go over it, and then we keep walking. And then he looks around, and he's like, it's around. Yep, here it is. And we come across this place. We have to shimmy down a crack in the ground. You climb down, and then there's just this hot spring. This all-alone hot spring. And no one's there. And it's light out, and it was supposed to be raining the whole day, but it wasn't raining. The only times it rained on us is when we were in the car driving. And we found this beautiful hot spring all alone. Oh my God, you guys, the highlight of my trip. He told me to bring a bathing suit, and so we changed into bathing suits, and we just sat and swam around in this hot spring by ourselves. Hour and a half. Talked, shot the shit. It was gorgeous. I cut my hand. On the rock. The lava rock's so hot. I still have a little bit of cut. I hope it doesn't heal all the way. If I had a bruise forever or a scar, people are like, where'd you get that? Fucking isolated hot spring in goddamn Iceland. He took Craig Campbell there too. Craig Campbell's coming back in the podcast pretty soon. Man, it was gorgeous. It's so warm. Oh, I was so happy. So thanks, Ari, for taking me on this great shit. He took some video. I'll put up some video on the website. If not today, Wednesday night, let's say. But I'll put the pictures I have up on the website, too. I'll do as much as I can on the website. But goddamn. And then we were just like, all right, time to go, hour and a half. As we started climbing up the rocks, it started raining. If it rained 10 minutes earlier, would have been too slippery to get back up those rocks. The day was working for us. We get up, walk back, catch a couple drops, nothing major. Then we got back in our car and went to see this other place with this crazy fucking bubbling clay pits. You guys, you got to go to Iceland. You got to go to Iceland and then just be a tourist. So anyway, this episode's all about Iceland, you guys. Goodbye, New York summer. So long. I hope you guys are enjoying This Is Not Happening. New episode this Thursday. Pete Johansson's story is out today, at some point today. A really good story. He's the best one I saw in Edinburgh last year when we did my show the whole time. And it was like, come on, we got to get him on my show. And we got him on. And there's a rumor that a couple of those videos are working. The last few videos are working in Canada right now. So try it. If not, use the BetterNet app so you can watch the videos in Canada. But I think the last couple are working on their own. Somebody told me, but Don't tell the powers that be. Just fucking watch them. Most of them are still not working, but the last few, Sal, Doug Stanhope, and me, I heard are working in Canada, and Joe List. So we'll see. Anyway, Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank. And guys, come to the Bell House and come to Austin, Texas for my special. Childhood and Adults. I think that's what I'm going to call it. Childhood and Adults. Or Children and Adulthoods. No, Adulthood. All right, whatever. Skeptic Tank episode 281. The Reyk. With Ari Eldjarn starts now. Yeah, I like that show. So you know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever done one of these while you're driving before?
No. Thank God it's an automatic car.
It's totally fine. Hold on, I'm saying it. Yeah.
Do you want to monitor it? I got headphones.
No, I don't monitor it. I just pretty much get it right 95% of the time.
Good.
And then like once every year and a half, it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it, but it's worth it to not have to worry about these stupid headphones. Where are we going to head now? Where's this thing?
We're going to go see Geysir.
Geysir.
So it's like a hot spring that bursts into the air, and that's where the word comes from, geyser.
That's where the original word comes from?
I believe
from Icelandic,
so.
geyser? From this
believe,
place?
Yeah. Norse, Old Norse.
Wow. Do you ever hear that all language like came from the same spot?
Yeah, sometimes you
like the letters in Hebrew are Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. That's the first 5 letters.
Oh, really?
And in English, it's A, B, C, D, E. So it's A is Aleph, B is Bet. It's just like same.
No way. They just
C
ripped it off?
Gimel. Not ripped it off, but it all came from the same fucking. There was like 8 people at some point.
Yeah.
And they somehow wherever language started, and then they all moved, and sort of like it changed.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm sure scholars know that shit, but
of course they do.
I know there's a correlation.
Yeah.
So geyser, I wonder if it's like actually someone's like, oh, here's the only geyser that's ever existed. Do they have geysers in like Europe?
They probably do. I'm actually not that knowledgeable about it.
You're not a geyser expert.
It's just here where I live.
How often do you, I'll do the introduction later, by the way, so you don't have to worry about feeling weird. But how often do you come out to this one?
Well, a couple of times a year at least.
Really?
Usually just to show friends from abroad.
That's how I was in LA when people were like, do you ever go to the Hollywood sign or like the Walk of Fame? Like, yeah, when friends come from out of town, that's the only reason to go there.
Yeah.
I'd still want to go, but it's like, that's when I'll go.
Yeah, use the trip.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of like, I just went the other day alone for fun.
Alone, yeah. Yeah. And it's so beautiful out here.
Yeah, it's a nice day.
Like, who lives here? In this fucking nowhere house?
I'm not sure what this is. This looks like just a private residence.
There's a couple houses.
Yeah.
This is a neighborhood.
Yeah, I think
of
people
fucking 7 houses.
People just live here, I think. No, it's a farm. It's a farm.
Yeah.
You got the hay there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You ever think about moving to the country?
Sometimes, like when I'm on holiday, I think, oh, it'd be nice living here, but then I realize, whoa, winter might be quite grim here.
Yeah, winter would suck.
Yeah.
And it would get boring after a while. It's nice to do those things for like a week, like, not think about anything, turn your cell phone off, and then you'd be like, I want to do stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I need infrastructure,
Yeah.
There's a place I go to in the north that has 1,500 people, and
What's it called?
It's called Dalvik.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic place, but if I had to stay like one winter there, I'm not sure how I would feel about it, because they have like, one cinema, and it doesn't show movies except like every once in a while.
Oh, really?
And
it's not like every day.
No, and sometimes there's a pub, and sometimes there isn't. I mean, depending on the year. Like, oh, there's a pub now. No, it's not anymore.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Horses. Yeah, there's that hotel I went to. I was going to go this year again in the Highlands. outside Kimbris, just in like the Central Highlands, way up north, but like not the east or the west, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the most remote hotel in mainland UK, the Garvault Hotel, and it is the middle of nowhere. And they're not open for 4 months a year.
Yeah.
They just close. They just don't. They have 4 rooms. I just like Nowhereville.
It's 4 rooms.
Yeah, dude, I showed up there.
Wow.
Because I heard about it. I fucking researched like remote. I wanted to get a loan and maybe do some mushrooms, but I ended up doing that the day before I left. So I was like, I didn't really need to.
Yeah.
But I still had some with me just in case. By the way, I gotta ask you about mushrooms here later.
Yes.
But I just keep hearing about these Icelandic mushrooms. But anyway, so I go there, I find it. I was like, I'm not gonna call my birds. And I show up, pull over. There's a bar inside next to the hotel, like connected to it, and everyone just turns and looks at me, like in Animal House. Remember when they go in and everyone just stops and looks at them?
Come into the frat.
Yeah. And I was like, hi. I'm like, I'll have a beer. And they looked at me. And then it's like, where's the hotel part? And he goes, yeah, it's right here. I mean, that's it. I was like, oh. It's like, how do I get a room? They're like, where are you from? Like, how did you get here? You don't have a Scottish accent. You don't even have an English accent. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
They looked at me so weird. I was like, just a traveler. And they're like, we don't have any rooms. We have 4. They're all taken. And I was like, fuck. I was like, well, I'll sleep in my car. And then one of the guys was like, well, I got an RV. I'll sleep in that. You can have one of the rooms. I was like, that's nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was so great. They were all there on a fishing trip.
This just sounds like an American werewolf in London.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to murder all of them. Yeah. So this geezer, how do you spell it? Geisi. How do you spell it?
Yeah, like Geysir.
S-I-R.
Geysir.
Geysir.
You have to roll the R. Geysir. You don't do it like that, but...
Yeah, but Israelis do it differently. They'd be like, guys,
yeah,
they do it in the back of their throat instead of the front.
Yeah, yeah.
Again. Do that again?
I do it like with the tip of the tongue, like Geysir.
Wow.
Geysir.
Such a fucking beautiful country. So you lived here. You grew up here. You were born here.
Mm-hmm.
Icelander to the core.
Yes.
Ari Eldjarn. I've never heard of an Ari outside of Greek and Hebrew.
Yeah, and in Finland, it's a common name in Finland too.
That's weird.
Ari. Written the same way.
Really?
But I grew up in Reykjavik, and I spent like a year in England when I was 7.
Yeah?
In Canterbury.
Why?
My mother had to do like this 1-year computer course at a university there. She was learning some programming. She's a meteorologist. And so I got to learn English at an early age, and it was quite amazing actually to live there.
Oh wait, English is not. Do you not all speak English here?
Well, I think today most people will speak English. It's like the second language you learn in school.
Yeah.
But back then, the second language you would learn in school was Danish.
Really?
The first foreign language we'd learn, but you didn't learn it until you were like maybe 11 or something.
And then you start learning Danish.
Yeah.
Because you guys used to be Danish?
Yeah, because Denmark used to rule Iceland, and it was like the policy of the time. Of course, there's also a lot of people who went over to Denmark to study and live.
Was that like Commonwealth, where you're allowed to go there whenever you want?
Yeah.
Same as England and Canada?
Same, and today you can also, you can go and apply for schools there, and they have like a work arrangement, study arrangement, the Nordic countries.
Really?
Yeah, they're all quite sort of open.
Can I just tell you, the way you told me that you guys declared independence was probably my favorite Declaration of Independence I've ever heard of. How did it go?
Well, like in 1940, I think Denmark was occupied by the Nazis and Iceland was occupied by the Brits, and then the Americans took over in 41. And during this time...
But you were Danish, really?
Yeah, well, Iceland was like sovereign.
Yeah.
Had its own minister, but the king of Denmark was the head of state.
Yeah.
So that's why the king of Denmark's like crown is still on the House of Parliament.
Oh.
But Icelanders wanted to declare independence, and seeing how the Danes were occupied, they wanted to
literally occupied.
Yeah, but the Americans were like running the country by then, and they were like, "Well, it's not very nice. It's not in good taste to do that. Wait for a while, boys." Okay, sir. And then a year later, they just said, "Okay, guys, go for it."
Okay, this is gonna be longer than we thought it was.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they had a referendum, and they voted like 95% said yes
to get out.
Yeah, like to have like an Icelandic president.
And then you would need your own currency and everything, but you're like, fuck it, we'll just do that.
Yeah, I think we even had the currency before.
Oh,
then.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had our own little massive inflation-prone currency.
Really? Dude,
Yeah.
that's my favorite thing. I wanted to go up in one of those to be above the clouds or in a cloud.
Yeah.
We were in Banff in the mountains outside Calgary. And we were like above clouds, but the clouds are further off.
Yeah.
But I want to be like walk through them and be above. That one's in the mountain.
Yes.
That is touching the mountain.
Yeah, it's almost like just pea soup fog.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it'll look like fog when you're in it, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a helicopter flying there.
Where?
Probably doing tours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just sightseeing.
So let's talk about Ireland a little bit. Not Ireland, Iceland.
Let's talk about Ireland.
Yeah, let's talk about Ireland. I went there on this trip. I've been gone for so fucking long. I have no idea where I am anymore.
Yeah. No, it's quite common for us to get confused with Ireland. And
really?
I once tried to order something online, and the machine that's like, select your country, you had to type in the name of your country, and I just put in Iceland, and it just kept correcting me. Did you mean Ireland?
Nope.
Like, no, Iceland. Did you mean Israel? It was like, hey,
no
buddy.
one gets anything there.
Looks like you messed up. Did you maybe mean another country?
So there's no tourists out here. I mean, maybe by the guys there will be, but like...
Oh, there's shitloads here.
Really?
Yeah, that's a tourist.
That is a tourist? Why? How do you know? Because he's wearing multiple layers
No, I'm
instead
just
of...
prejudiced. I just decided that's a tourist. No, I have no idea.
Can you pick him out?
Not really. But downtown you can maybe, because they tend to be like dressed outdoorsy, like they're going on a really long hike with a backpack.
Backpack, that seems like a sign.
Yeah, but they're downtown like with a massive backpack for like survival in the wild.
And it's like, dude, just go home and get some more
They're
stuff.
probably going into the wild though. The tourists probably see more of the country than we ever do. Like I've met German people who are like, we come every year and it's
really?
Very beautiful. We drive and we have this RV and we have walked here in the Highlands, and you're like, wow, you've been there? I was just watching Friends.
Did you ever see The Purge election year?
No.
Oh, well, The Purge, the movie series, The Purge?
No.
Oh, where you're like one day a year, there's no laws.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah. And so then they start having this murder tourism. So all these Germans would come and be like, yeah, we heard about the Americans kill once a year, so we come to the streets to fucking kill. Yeah. Yeah, we heard about the Purge.
The Purge?
We want to do it. Tell me about the horses here. Let's start with that.
Well, they're smaller.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. They're smaller, and they can walk 5 different ways.
5 gates, right?
5 gates.
What does that mean? Instead of all the other horses are 3 gates?
I don't know.
Right. I'm
such a bad representative for my country. Like,
all right.
What about the horses? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. But once they leave, they're never allowed back?
Yeah, it's like quarantine rules or something. Like they could get some alien disease. I'm not sure why it is, but yeah.
So all the horses here are just pure from Viking days?
Yeah.
Like lineage-wise?
Yeah, they've been here a long time. And they've probably become the way they are because of the nature and the isolation.
Yeah.
Small, strong, proud. I don't ride horses though. I'm terrified of them.
Yeah, you just learned how to play football.
Yeah.
That's crazy. At 26, you learn how to play fucking world sport.
Tie my
you
shoes.
Learn how to play. I don't play football/soccer, but I know what the fuck it is.
Yes.
I've kicked a soccer ball before.
I came from a home where there was like no awareness of it whatsoever. Like my girlfriend is raised supporting a local football team, and like her sister played for the national team, for the women's national team.
Yeah.
So she's just raised around football, and it's natural for her. But my father is a poet, and my mother is like a scientist, and they don't know, they don't care. So there was no awareness of it in my home.
Oh yeah. Academics are not athletes. Dude, the sign of a tourist area is when you see Asian people.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, out, in white like neighborhoods.
Oh,
white,
yeah, the sign, the mark, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, Iceland is a white country.
Oh, it
is.
is.
You see an Asian family, like, well, I guess it's a tourist spot.
Yeah, definitely.
They're not from here. That's the guys that right there, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's go out there and see it. How often does it go off?
Well, there's one called Strokkur. Gay said it's not going to go off because it's broken.
What do you mean?
It's broken. It just stopped working.
It just stopped one day?
Yeah. They used to artificially stimulate it by throwing some sort of soap into it called green soap.
Like throwing Altoids into a can of Coke?
Basically, yeah. Mentos and Diet Cola.
That's
it.
And
they used to do that, but then it was controversial. I saw them do that once.
Really?
And then we had like a massive earthquake in 2000, and it started going off a bit again.
Yeah.
But the one next to it goes off every like 5 minutes. And
oh, really?
That's a really nice one.
Oh, hell yeah. Should we take this out with us, or we just leave it in here?
Well, we can take it with us for like sampling the sound.
Yeah, maybe. I'll pause it until we get outside, and then we'll go talk until we see it.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to react.
Cool. This is a job.
I remember that here.
My name's Colin. What do you do for a living? Columns.
The columnist.
Literally what he did.
What a fun festival that was.
Yeah, it was great.
So I remember that South African guy too. What was his name?
His name was Darren Mall.
Darren Mall.
Darren
Man,
Mall.
We're both trying to untangle at the same time. These things tangle up so fast.
You remember the
Boom.
South African guy? Yeah.
Yeah, he had these theories on South African politics.
What's this?
Yeah, and it. Yeah, that's what usually happens.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we'll see if I got it or not.
Like if you put
I've
it
never
on...
seen that's a normal screen like that.
Yeah,
I've
but
never had that other thing.
Yeah, you must have bumped into something.
Oh, weird.
But if you put it on hold now,
Yeah.
you can record and nothing will happen. It'll just...
Yeah.
You can press everything.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like-
So if you go on hold, it'll just keep going?
Yeah, like key hold.
Oh.
So you bypass the keyboard so you can poke
Oh, hell yeah. That's helpful as fuck.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I just learned something today.
Yeah. The more
Key
you learn.
hold. See, I cut these holes in the case so I could like do it.
It's quite brilliant.
Key hold.
Yeah, the key hold is that's your best friend if you
Yeah.
don't want it to stop.
Oh yeah, I probably did not get it like hitting us. I probably did
It
not.
probably didn't record anything.
Well, whatever. What can you do?
So we're watching a geyser and
Yeah.
we're going to do a podcast.
No, I think I recorded the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know where it stopped, but maybe it didn't. Who knows? I really have no idea where
We can
it
check it
stopped.
later in the
Yeah,
car
for
with
sure.
headphones. I record all our stand-up shows on one of these.
On one of these Zooms?
Yeah. So I have an archive of them on a hard drive.
Tell me about how the scene started here in Reykjavik.
Like in 2008, we had like this massive banking collapse.
Yeah.
And we had a really harsh and horrifying winter where people were really depressed because of the economic situation.
And everyone was broke suddenly.
Yeah,
That's it was
yeah.
a world banking collapse, right?
Yes. And it hit Iceland pretty heavy. Small.
And you guys didn't bail your banks out. Well, whoa! You see that bubble?
Oh, shit! Whoa! That was like a big
Wow.
bubble. I've never seen that. That was so.
Wow.
That was a fat eruption.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it's just empty now. The whole.
Yeah. Oh, then it fills up. Wow.
Wow, man.
That's a massive bud looking like an egg coming out.
Yeah, it looked like an egg.
It looked like we're in the Justice League of America, where the evil ones come and they're in the swamp, and when that comes out, it comes out like an egg from underneath the swamp.
Or like The Prisoner, the old 60s TV show.
Yeah.
There's always a ball that comes from the ground and catches the prisoners as they're running away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember my friends just wanted to try stand-up, and there was no stand-up around. There was no clubs or bars or open mics or anything.
They all just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
What at that point? What did you seen of stand-up?
Well, I think as a kid, everybody saw Eddie Murphy here
Okay,
in this
yeah,
country.
me too.
Everybody had Delirious and Raw. Mm-hmm. And then
What else did you see?
I don't
Andrew Dice
know.
Clay.
Yeah, I remember I loved Andrew Dice Clay when I was
was
like
so dirty.
9
Me
or
too.
10
Yeah.
because it was dirty.
Yeah,
It was
him and Eddie Murphy were the ones we'd pass around on tape.
Yeah.
On cassette tape, and we would like recordings of recordings of recordings.
Yeah.
You know, they'd be bad quality, but we'd listen to them in secret, and like we'd like.
Yeah, it was like a thing your parents couldn't find out
No way.
about or
Yeah, if
something.
we listened to Student Lounge, if the teacher came in, there it goes. No. When it goes fast, it goes fast.
Yeah.
And so you listen to Delirious and things like that. And then, wow.
Yeah, I remember it was Eddie Murphy. And then, Andrew Dice Clay, probably.
Yeah.
That's like when I'm a kid. I
Oh.
think by the time I actually tried stand-up, I was 27. So I was
Yeah.
aware of Louis C.K. and all
You
those-
were?
Yeah.
So you knew like what from YouTube? You knew like
Yeah.
contemporaries?
Yeah.
And then you were like, fuck it, I want to try this. So what did you do? How'd you do it?
What I did was that I just threw together a 20-minute set from everything I've ever said that was funny, because most of the stuff I say, which I think is funny and people think is funny, is just material, really.
But there was no stand-up here at all at that point?
No, not at that point.
So how'd you do it? You and your friends? What'd you do? Explain it to me again.
We all just decided to do stand-up, and we all did it. And I'd seen Dave Chappelle, lots of Dave Chappelle. That he was a big influence.
Yeah.
I remember that. He was one of our favorite comedians when we started.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, and we just decided to do it. I mean, one of the guys in my group had like a band that was like the biggest band in Iceland for a year.
What was the name?
Years. The band's name was Sprengjuhöllin, which means the Explosion Palace. It's a nonsensical name. And another guy, Dóri, who does the UFC commentary in Iceland.
Yeah.
He's like a rapper, so I mean, been on stage before.
So that comfort level.
And we were all smart asses in like college, did debates and that sort of stuff. So it sort of came naturally to do this.
Yeah.
But it's scary as shit to do it. But we did it. And,
all together?
Yeah, 4 of us. Like
one night?
Yeah, one night. I did 25 minutes.
Your first time on stage?
Yeah. It was just, it was probably 50 minutes of material. It was just so fast. There's loads of impressions in it. And it just took off really fast.
What do you mean?
Well, I just quit my job a few months later. And
a few months later?
Full time. The circuit just became something like corporate gigs and that stuff.
The other guys did too?
Yeah.
Quit their jobs pretty fast?
Yeah, the phone just started ringing. And we didn't really know. There's nobody to guide you, nobody to tell you, oh, here's how it goes. Yeah. Oh, you got to do this for a few years and then you got to do that. There's nobody. All the inspiration comes from like watching foreign comedy and just realizing that, oh, we're having the same problems that other comedians are having.
What do you mean?
Like repeating yourself or like, oh, it's hard to write new material or...
Yeah, when you first realize you're allowed to do the same thing again.
Yeah, like...
Whoa.
Oh, shit. Oh, we're going to get drenched.
I just missed this. What?
It just turned out people wanted stand-up here.
They just didn't have it and they wanted it.
Didn't have it and they wanted it.
Yeah.
You can get, yeah.
And so it took off. The audience was like, started to come out for it. It's so crazy because Reykjavik is mostly where you do it, here.
Yeah.
Only 260,000? How many people here?
I think all in all in the Reykjavik area is around 200,000. But the Reykjavik itself is like 100,000.
Yeah.
But the whole area is like 2/3 of the country population.
Should we go? What do you want
to
do?
We just keep walking.
Yeah.
That is Geysir, the big one.
The big one that doesn't go off anymore.
You can take a look at it though.
Yeah.
It's a short walk. It's much bigger.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just. How do we get up there?
Go here.
No walking.
Oh.
We got to go around.
No, you can go here. Yeah.
I teach you how to walk in Iceland. Dude, all those things, all those no walking signs, if I lived here, I would just be like, nah, I'm just going. That looks like a path there.
You've done it already. You've walked off the beaten path.
Yeah.
the road less traveled.
Yeah. That's all I like doing. Get my feet on an actual ground.
Yeah.
Instead of this, like, whatever this, I mean, even this is okay, but it's like, you could tell this is like paved down for people.
Oh, yeah, it's been...
Not paved, just matted.
Yeah, somebody's had like a hydraulic device to put this in the ground.
Yeah. So you guys started doing comedy, and then you all quit your jobs?
Yeah, pretty much. But we started doing our own show, which we run in a basement, sort of like a comedy cellar, like size.
Saw that room, it's cool.
It's a nice room, and we do that like January through April. And that's like the time when Icelanders want their comedy.
January through April?
Yeah.
Why?
Because after New Year's, that's when all the people have like their annual galas and all that stuff, and it's generally the time for companies to party and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's different in Sweden. I think everything is around Christmas, and then January is just dead.
Everything is... Oh, really?
That's when comedy is dead there, but here it takes off.
What are you guys interviewing?
Or each other.
Podcast.
For?
Just ourselves.
Podcast.
For broadcast?
A podcast.
Oh, for YouTube?
Just for ourselves.
Okay. Yeah. Traveling together doing that?
No. He lives here.
You're not traveling together?
No, he lives here. I'm visiting. I'm a friend of his.
Oh, careful.
Oh, you're doing your own podcast?
Yeah, we're in the... Oh, I should press pause.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question now.
Hold on, let me press pause.
Which of these hot pots should Don
Call it.
All right, it's back on. I love when somebody's like...
We got trawled pretty hard there.
What are you doing? Yeah, I know.
What are you guys doing,
Leading some dumb joke. it's almost like, well, you just said the joke.
Yeah.
Which of these did Donald Trump go into? It's like, well, that's it. You just did it. There's no leading us.
I can't recover from your joke.
Yeah, you're like, haha. Oh, that one for sure.
Oh yeah, he should die. It's like that's really funny. That's Geyser.
That's Geyser.
Yeah, that one.
This one definitely does not go off. That's why there's some tiny little the fence is like right next to it.
Yeah, basically this is like an old band.
Yeah.
All these geysers, but there's only like one member who's still killing it, singing it, hitting the high notes really well.
Yeah.
Other ones are just there.
And you guys all ended up just quitting pretty quickly, quitting your jobs. What were you doing at the time?
I was working in an ad agency doing copy.
Oh, right.
And then I just sort of left.
Do you ever talk to the people who like start scenes around the world outside of like London, LA, and New York, like the comedy scenes? Mm-hmm. I'm just so intrigued by how they start in places like the Beijing and the Shanghai comedy scene. Anyway, the Shanghai comedy scene, it's all just like, I don't know, people that are here. And it's like, I'll try it. You know, a couple of them they came from Toronto or something. Yeah. You know, and they wanted to do it.
Yeah, the expats. That's
the expats.
That's a different way to do it.
Yeah, but they'll have like a comedy night, and then at the comedy night they go, hey, if anyone wants to try it, you know. Yeah. And 2 Thursdays we're having just an open mic. Anyone can come down, and then that's the scene now. Yeah. And they're all super together and.
They have that here now.
They do?
Yeah, there's an open mic scene here. And
so are you getting new comics to starting?
Yeah, all of the time. And a lot of them, we have one open mic on Mondays that's in English. Because there's so many tourists in town.
Normally you do an Icelandic.
But they're Icelanders. They're talking English. That's also quite common. Like in Estonia, stand-up started around 2009. Wow. And there were Estonians, but they all performed in English. They didn't do it in Estonian.
Really?
Yeah, they just did it in English. But we always do it in Icelandic, but it's great to do it in English too as a, you know, it's like it's for you. You know, it's fun to develop your skill and do it in another language. Yeah. But the bulk of the stuff we do is Icelandic. This is not Geyser at all.
This is not?
I'm the worst tour guide you could find. I can't explain anything.
He took me to Parliament. He took me where the Parliament thing was. That was cool.
Go here.
There's another one down there. I like how all the steam just rises out of this stuff. You can find them. Rusty
soil there.
I for sure come here at night. All right, let's pause for a second. We'll get back to this later. Yeah. Now it's cold and rainy.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
That guy was annoying me. That's how people hate Americans. That guy.
What? I didn't hate him.
You didn't hate him?
No.
Oh, I go to hate instantly. I was like, oh, come on, we're in the middle of something, though. Yeah. And then he's like filming us.
That is true. I don't like it when people interrupt me when I'm doing
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? I was like, what is it for? Like, broadcast? No, not broadcast. Just we're doing it, though. We're doing it right now. Like, I learned keyholes. But yeah, this fucking, what's it called, is great. This scenery is great. That's my point, was I would just drive instead of fly, because I'd rather see once in a while fucking greens. Yeah, all right, talk about TV here and stuff. Like, how is it, you know how American TV is a little bit, right? Yeah. How much do you guys get of American television?
A lot.
Is it on your, like, TV box, or is it just, like, download and Netflix stuff?
Well, today, of course, there's a lot of download on Netflix, but there is like a pay-per-view channel here that has like a contract with HBO, and they show Game of Thrones when they show it abroad.
Really? Same time?
Yeah.
So you're like, if I asked you, like, if I watched the new Game of Thrones, it's not in season right now, but it's not going to be for like another year, right?
Yeah, I think it's next year.
Gee, those people take such long breaks.
I know. They're lazy.
I'm like, how's that fucking Reyk? He's fucking 19 years older than he was when he started this.
Sun size.
Everybody else is the same age. Yeah.
No, but back in the day, before Iceland had its own TV station, there was a military base here. and they had their own TV station. It was like American Forces Television.
Oh, really?
So they would show like Best of the Best. They would get tapes flown over and they would broadcast it locally, and Icelanders could pick up the signal. So in 50s, 60s, people, well-to-do Icelanders had television sets, and they would watch like, let's see, Dick Van Dyke, and they also had a radio station that played like rock and roll, and that's how rock and roll really got started here.
Really? For American GIs?
Yeah, because they took care of the GIs really well. They had these jingles they played on the radio station called American Forces Radio, and this was on the air for years and years here, and Icelanders really sort of got modernized through that, and then they formed their own television station in 66.
1966 was the first television station you guys had?
Yeah, black and white, and it didn't broadcast on Thursdays. First year, and it didn't broadcast in July at all. It took just, it's summer vacation.
Everybody's off.
Yeah, everyone's off. No TV on Thursdays, and only a few hours a day at first. And that was the only TV station in the country until 1986.
What was on when those few hours a day were not going on?
Well, to begin with, it was mostly just like people in politics talking and authors reading from their books.
Really?
just really low budget stuff.
Public access shit.
Yeah, they only had like one tape machine. They couldn't edit. It was just like one studio.
But what would happen at like noon? What would they have on?
Nothing.
Static or reruns?
Test
pattern.
Yeah, test pattern. And then they would have like, they made their own really primitive TV commercials. Some of them are insanely funny to watch today.
Really?
There's like one for
I'll put it on
should we pause it?
Yeah, you got to take that.
It's your producer.
Yeah. Oh, key hold. Go ahead, take it.
Hello, Runar.
Hi, Arvin. Hello.
All right.
So we were talking about what?
Test pattern.
Test pattern,
Things
yeah.
going blank.
Yeah, there's old commercials they made. There was one for like a flower shop called...
Oh, the commercials, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Alaska.
Yeah.
And it's just this black and white footage of this sort of blonde beauty posing in front of nothing. And it's playing this really scary music, like Hitchcock music, like dun, dun, dun. And this guy just reads like, flowers, Alaska, flower decorations, Alaska, wreaths and floral blah blah blah, Alaska, Alaska, and they cut to a sign that says Alaska, and it just goes like bum 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 bum. It's this, and the girl is like posing with flowers and a saxophone. It's like they had no idea what they were doing. Like this is a commercial, right?
Did they have nothing to base it on? Did they not seen like other commercials from
Probably
America?
some of them had seen something, but they'd seen movies. But they're like, they were learning how to shoot and edit and doing that.
And plus, if it's Armed Forces Radio, there's no commercials on that, right? There's no like regular commercials on Armed Forces Radio.
Probably not. Probably only had like the sign that said Armed Forces Radio.
Right.
But that first Alaska, I'll show that advert to you. It's really funny. It's super creepy. Alaska, and it evolved really fast. And then they started doing like maybe TV plays, and they shot on film. All exterior shots were on film back in the day.
Really?
Because they didn't have the videotape machines that could go outside. They were so clunky.
So what does that mean? I don't
So
really
they
know.
like in the studio, you would have like a studio lighting, proper video studio setting with multi-camera setup, and then if you go outside you get like a scratched old film, completely different texture.
Dude, that's how British stuff was.
Yeah.
Whenever they shot outside in like faulty towers and stuff, you're like, why does it look way different?
Because it didn't have the videotape that was up to speed. Like shooting video outside was so hard because of the light.
I thought they just didn't know how to light it right, but I was like, in American stuff it looks the same, just outdoors instead of indoors.
In America it's probably just shot on film more.
Wow.
Like Dallas was shot on film, all of it.
And so that was outdoors and indoors, had no difference. It was like...
And then Dallas went full video as well.
Oh, really? Both sides?
But the Icelandic TV station was the only game in town until 86, when we had this new station open called Channel 2 that had like, you had to buy a scrambler decoder thing.
To get it?
Yeah, you had to pay subscription. And they had way more American stuff. They had way more cartoons in the morning for the kids. And
Bugs Bunny and shit?
Yeah, and lots of stuff. The other one also had cartoons from the olden days, like Tom and Jerry, and that's I grew up in that.
Those are good, me too.
And the state broadcaster also picked up The Simpsons early, which which changed my life. So that state station is still running. It's still the biggest station.
Channel 2?
No, Channel 1.
Channel 1.
It's just called the national television station.
That's what you're on in stand-up?
Yeah, when I do a special, I tend to do it there. I've done specials with my group on Channel 2.
Yeah.
But it's a different, it's a smaller group that sees it because not everyone has the subscription.
Because you got to get a scrambler.
And then they're suffering also more from the download because their money comes from having the exclusive rights to Game of Thrones and those shows. But the station gets its funding from taxpayers, so they're always going to be around.
I think that's how BBC is, where if you do a show for BBC, they're like, we're not making money off this. We're just paid to put on programming.
Yeah.
So
license fee.
Yeah, and so you own your own thing there, and then after it's done, like, you go put it wherever you want. Go sell it to Netflix. It's not ours. It's yours.
It depends on what the deal is, but yeah, that tends to be how it's done.
So I think, what's the Twitter guy's name? The guy got big on Twitter, Rob Delaney.
Yeah.
So his show on there, now it's on Amazon. .com in America because he owned it. They shot it for BBC, but it was like if you shot it for NBC would take it to Netflix in England
and sell it.
Yeah, but he shot it for BBC. It's like, that's just yours, Delaney.
Yeah, we're
just using it. We're asking you to film it for us.
Yeah, it's a whole different system.
It's weird.
With state-owned television.
Yeah,
and it's good to have, like, if you have one television station that's so big, a lot of people can tune in. There's a sketch show we do every year. Like, there's a sketch show that the state television produces, like a review, like a Saturday Night Live thing, but it's not live, it's just a sketch show of the year, like an hour-long send-up of the year. And this is just before midnight, New Year's Eve. And it gets like 90% ratings. Like, everybody watches it.
Really?
And then when it's over, it's like, woohoo, fireworks! Let's get drunk! It's every year. I've been doing it for 50 years now.
That's the guys?
That's this... That's not the guys we talked about earlier.
Okay.
That's different people every year. I've done it many times, written it, or...
And how many people watch that percentage?
90%.
90% of the country watch that.
90%.
I'm getting 1/10 of 1% of my show.
That's good, though.
Yeah, that's
big
great.
Country.
Oh, I'm totally stoked on that number. I'm totally stoked on that number. 1 out of every 1,000 people are going to be there. I'm so happy with that.
Like, for every Icelander, there are 1,000 Americans, so...
Is that right?
Yeah.
350,000, 350
That's why
million?
we calculate everything per capita. We always say, well, considering how few we are.
Yeah.
Like, we have one guy won the Nobel Prize for literature. But
really?
That's like America would have 1,000. That's how we sort of...
Can't do that when it's one.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Who was the guy that won the Nobel Prize for Literature?
Alton Laxness. He's the grandfather of Dori, the comedian who you're going to meet tonight. The UFC comedian.
Yeah.
That's his grandfather.
Look at this cop. Did they translate that book to English?
Yeah, it got published in America, Book of the Month Club. Well, he had many books, but his big hit was called Independent People.
Yeah.
And
Mike's town, so
he got into trouble in America. He was blacklisted for being a communist.
Who?
Laxness, the writer.
Really? Why?
Well, he was a communist.
Right.
So he became big in America, and then all of a sudden he disappeared from the shelves.
Wow. Oh, that sucks.
We drove past his place earlier.
We did drive past here, right? Because I saw that house that had the river running underneath the house. And we passed it on my side of the street before.
Yeah.
So what are we going back the same... But we're on the same direction we went before.
No, we're going a different way now.
But we passed that house.
Yeah. That's not his house, though. You were sleeping when we passed his house.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
But it was under construction anyway. They were fixing it, so there was nothing to see, really.
Oh. And he's a Nobel Prize winner.
Yeah, he won the Nobel Prize in 1954, I think, or 55.
So everybody watches this TV that's here, of the two stations. They're all watching that.
Yeah.
Or no?
People always watch, like, the news on the Channel 1. Like, everybody watches that. And those sketch shows are huge. And if basically the Saturday slot at that station is a really good slot for comedy.
Why?
If you do like a comedy special and they put it on like Saturday at 8.
8 p.m., Saturday 8 p.m.?
Yeah, it's
I can never get one of my specials on at 8 p.m.
Huge slot.
They laugh at me when I ask if it's on, can I go on before midnight?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you've got more competition and more stuff is being produced there.
The fucking, with the garbage I talk about. They're like, no, children are watching, Ari.
Yeah, I'm pretty clean in my specials.
Yeah. I heard the highest rated special for HBO of all time. This was 10 years ago. I don't know if it still is. Probably definitely is not still, because everybody has HBO now. But for a while, it was Sinbad.
Sinbad?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because...
It's clean.
They played it at like 3 p.m. They kept playing it and playing it. They could play it whenever they wanted. So other people's, like Eddie Murphy stuff, they can only play late at night.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing I always sort of realize way later. Like,
yeah, we came this way and then went left, right? Before?
No, I don't think we...
Different interchange.
You know, maybe we did. No, we didn't. We came in from the other way. We're doing a circle now.
Okay. Those thing what?
Yeah, I always, as an Icelander, I tend to think like, oh, if something is in America, it's big.
Yeah.
And then you realize there's so many levels of like, it's rock music. You don't get that on the radio. What? Really? You don't? Well, not that kind of rock. This is a different kind of.
Yeah, you get pop. It's pretty. Most of the radio's pop. A little bit of alt, but like not really.
Yeah, and then
Arcade Fire doesn't get played much on the radio.
Yeah, and we have no idea how big country is, for example.
How big what?
Country music.
Country music. Oh, it's
like,
so big.
It's so big there, and we're like, oh, country isn't that just like one sort of genre? No, it's a world.
It is a genre, but it's massive. And you know what's even bigger than that? Spanish radio.
Yes.
Mexican music.
Yeah.
Every radio station that's cool, that's like, oh, they're playing the cool hits, the Killers and all these cool bands I like, But even like underground, like RJD2 or like I'm trying to think of like Father John Misty types, where it's like, smaller musicians, but like they always go under and it goes to Spanish.
Yeah.
They're like, we can just make clearly more money. Fuck this fucking, cool artsy music.
Queens of the Stone Age had this album where they had these interludes between the songs that was like a Spanish station. Like a MC, a disc jockey going on about...
That pink CD with the rubber duckies on it?
I can't remember which one it was.
I think I remember that.
But you got like these intros and outros.
Yeah.
It's probably in homage to that.
A Hamas?
Homage. A Hamas. A hummus.
And then everything on TV is in Icelandic? Or no?
No, it's got subtitles if it's foreign.
If it's from there. But everything you guys film is Icelandic?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the children's shows are dubbed. But like movies aren't dubbed because that's too much money goes into that.
So what do they just play it in English?
Play it in English and have subtitles.
Movies are not dubbed because are you the only country that speaks Icelandic?
Yes.
Well, that makes sense.
But this is like the old language of the Nordic countries.
Really?
Yeah, it stayed closer to the original in Iceland because of isolation. But basically Icelandic, Danish, Swedish and Norwegian is originally all the same language.
Do you think that's where the name Iceland comes from because of isolation?
Yes.
Land of isolation.
Yes, that is where that came from.
Yeah. And when did you first start saying the Reyk?
The term to go and hit the Reyk, which means to go into Reykjavik, was coined by comedian Ari Shaffir yesterday. And is the funniest term for going into Reykjavik.
It felt right.
Oh man, yeah, that's good. Okay, let's hit the Reyk.
Yeah, let's do this quickly and then we'll go hit the Reyk. You just looked at me like, what did you just say?
Yeah, I was like, oh, you're so good at adapting. You just chanced it like maybe
I
that's
chanced
a thing.
it. I really did chance it. It felt right. I threw it out.
Yeah, maybe they say that here and they'll think I'm a cool guy.
Turns out, 9.
We're driving past a swimming pool now. We're not going to go into this one, but it is
That's
nice.
a swimming pool? Oh, that's a football field.
Yeah.
Oh, right there with the water
It's
slide.
a nice one. It's got a little water slide. We can go into one with a bigger water slide.
Okay, talk about swimming pool culture here.
There's loads of swimming pools, and they're outdoor swimming pools with geothermal water. So
hold on, explain what that means even, geothermal water.
it just means that the water is pumped hot from the ground because it's a volcanic country.
Yeah.
So we don't have to warm up the water for the pools. Like most pools have to be indoor pools because you have to warm up the water, right? You need to do it with gas or electricity or whatever.
Yeah.
But here it's just hot water, sulfury water.
So it's not chlorine.
They do put chlorine in the pools because otherwise it would be disgusting, but not as high chlorine levels as, for example, the UK. I remember going into the UK once into a pool, and it bleached my skin. I swear,
wow.
it burned so bad.
Your eyes burn after you open your water in America.
It's horrible.
You open your eyes, I mean.
But I associate it with the fact that I think most people in the UK don't shower before they go into the pool because they're like, no, I'm not doing that. That's embarrassing.
Most Americans don't.
No,
either.
so they just dip in the pool and up the chlorine. But here there's no chlorine, and they just say, hey, just get naked and clean really well, and then we don't have to burn our eyes, okay?
Oh, that's why they have the chlorine? Because to get all the dirt that comes off your body clean?
Yeah, it's also because you'll just start building up, like,
sediment and shit?
Nasty shit, yeah. It's going to turn green.
Wait, so they get the water in pipes underground, or they just get it straight from underground and throw it into the pool?
They get it, like... You get these...
Is it like water table?
Yeah, you get like these stations where you pump it up and build these reservoirs, pump it into tanks, and the tanks sort of create pressure downwards.
How do you keep it hot?
Well, it loses heat over time, but these are heavily insulated pipes. Like, we have a cabin in the north, and they pump and they pump the water from a place that's a few kilometers away, but it goes like in a U-turn into the valley, and when it reaches our cabin... we're one of the last cabins in the valley that gets the hot water, so it's only like 60 degrees when it comes there, but the water in my house, it can go like up to 80 degrees from the faucet.
Really?
Or like 90.
I did notice that by the geyser.
Yeah.
I turned on the water. I didn't even turn it all the way hot. I turned it maybe like 55, 60%, and it was fucking scalding.
Yeah, it's so hot because it comes from there. They probably got like this little place very close by where they pump it from the ground. And
Yeah.
so it's burning hot and dangerous.
And do those pipes go through is the ground that it's going in? Is that hotter ground?
Well, I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's many ways to do it.
Yeah.
I know that there's a place where, close to where I live, they don't use the actual hot water from the ground, but they use the warm ground to heat up cold water, so they don't get the sulfur-smelling water.
Oh.
They just get nice hot water.
Oh.
But we, in Reykjavik, we have the sulfur-smelling water coming from the shower. So you take a shower, you're really fresh, but you stink. And then you just get used to it, and
Everyone thinks the same way.
everyone stinks and nobody notices.
Yeah. Did you, so keep talking about the pool culture. So everyone likes swimming, or how do they?
Yeah, most people go in for a little bit of a swim, but it's mainly the hot tubs that
Hot tubs
people
are great.
are after. There are many, many hot tubs, and always like maybe one cold tub and a sauna or a steam bath. And people just sort of meet there. It's kind of like the pub in a way.
They meet at the hot tub?
Yeah, you just meet many people at the pool and blah, 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 blah. Hey, how you doing? It's a very good place to take kids to because they just enjoy it so much and they get so tired afterwards.
It does wear you out.
Yeah.
Dude, I told you, when I go skiing, it's like afterwards, take your clothes off, whatever, change. Go get that hot tub and a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And just fucking sit there, and then you're ready for bed.
Yeah, and you feel like you're sleeping a righteous sleep. Like,
Yeah.
I did something with my life.
Yeah. It really does wear you out. The sweat comes out of you.
Yeah.
That steam room, too, it does the same shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It really charges you up, and it's great.
That steam room with the Blue Lagoon was cool as fuck. That was super hot.
Yeah, the Hobbit hole.
Yeah, the Hobbit hole. It looks so cool.
Yeah, it's so tiny and dark. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy hot in there, though.
So hot. We got lucky nobody's in there. But the steam comes out of the floor, so it's right on your feet.
Yeah, there's pipes underneath, like the floorboards. They're pumping it in. Burning hot.
Yeah. So everyone just goes and hangs out at hot tubs.
Yeah. It's
man, I love
it's
that.
so nice. It's such a high standard of living to be able to go into a hot tub anywhere. There's tons of pools around the country.
Because it doesn't get that cold here, you're saying, right?
Well, it does get cold in winter, but it doesn't go like minus 30 like in Finland or Russia.
Canada.
Or Canada. Newfoundland.
Even in America, it goes to negative. In New York, let's do the conversion. So 0 is our 32.
Yeah.
So we definitely get like 15-degree days, and that would be like your negative 10. But we definitely get like 0-degree days with wind chill.
How much is that in pounds and inches? No, it's
so stupid.
it's
I'm telling
hard.
you,
It's
if I'm
so
ever
hard
president,
to
I'm changing the
calculate.
system over.
Yeah. Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Rogan used to have a joke about it when he asked somebody in Canada.
Yeah.
I think it comes together at negative 40 Celsius and Fahrenheit comes together.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
same degrees.
Yeah.
It's the same temperature. Negative 40 is the same for both.
Yeah, and then it just shoots off into all kinds of wrong places after that. Up and down.
But he said he was talked to a driver in Canada and he was like, "How cold does it get?" He goes, negative 40. He goes, "Is that Celsius or Fahrenheit?" And the guy goes, "It doesn't matter."
It just is.
It's just too cold to breathe, man. What the fuck?
We use Kelvin for that.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
I don't know. I love to go that Kelvin system. I never understood 0 Kelvin. It can't get any colder than that. I'm like, bullshit.
It's minus 240 something Celsius, or
Yeah, but I'm like, then it can get minus 247.
yeah.
I-
That's like the coldest you can get.
Dr. Kelvin, I think you were wrong. I think you just stopped calculating after a certain amount and be like, that's the coldest.
That guy just wanted his name on something.
Yeah, like the Mayan calendar. Like, stop here. We won't go past that.
I'm Calvin.
Yeah.
I want you to remember me after I'm gone.
And no one does.
No.
But Jimmy Celsius, everybody remembers.
Oh yeah, Celsius. He was killing it, man.
Yeah, Bill Fahrenheit, everybody knows them.
Oh, yeah. I always feel sorry for the ones who spend their lives studying like a disease, trying to find a cure, and then they name the disease
After them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Lou Gehrig's disease.
Alzheimer.
Oh, yeah. So pool culture. Okay, we talked about that a little bit. But there was other stuff I wanted to talk about. How safe is driving here? How bad is traffic? I'm assuming it's way different in the Reyk than it is in, the other parts.
The Reyk is a concrete jungle, man. Woo! We got 2 lanes there. Jesus Christ, man, you can get stuck for hours. No, I mean, there's rush hour at 9 and 4, but no, there's not that much traffic. But there's so little public transportation. There are no trains here.
No trains.
It's just buses. There's no subway.
Why? Because if you took a subway, you'd be in lava.
Yeah, you have to go through lava. We could build them. It's just people always feel like there's not enough people to warrant a mass.
Yeah, exactly.
Transit
If we had a
system
city
like
of 350,000 people, there's no way they'd have like a subway system.
that. No, and also like when you go to New York, you see the grid system they have. It's so well planned and built and thought out.
Yeah.
But the city planning of Reykjavik is non-existent. Reykjavik looks like
Reykjavik.
it's like a city that was bombed and then rebuilt.
Really?
But it wasn't. It's just been built randomly with different houses here and there and no massive plan. Oh, here goes the phone.
You gotta get that again?
Hit pause. The traffic, yeah, mass transit system.
Oh yeah, mass transit system.
Buses.
So what are drivers like here?
Well, probably a bit sort of like self-centered, not very passionate, like compassionate.
Not compassionate. Everybody yesterday was trying to let us in at the Brian Wilson concert.
Yeah, but maybe that's the people who go to see Brian Wilson.
That could be too. They're in a good mood.
Yeah.
They're older people.
They're good vibrations. Yeah.
Good.
Good vibrations in the traffic.
I liked how he finished with like 7 or 8 hits.
Oh, yeah.
That everybody knew and could dance to.
Yeah.
When he was like, no, you can stand up if you like.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
let's stand up. Yeah, we can. It was also like Brian, he was so quick at introducing all the songs because he really had to go pee.
This next song, I hope you like it. It's called Good Vibrations.
Yeah.
And they would just start. But he didn't like finish. He was like, it's called Good Vibrations.
Yeah.
And then wait.
So people didn't know. Should we applaud?
Should we
Because
applaud now?
You should basically go nuts at every song he
Because it sounds like he
introduces.
was going to say, it's Good Vibrations, and I
Yeah,
wrote it in
yeah.
1947 with my brother, and we hit it, or 1967 with my brother, and we had a lot of hits off this. And
Yeah.
man, it's all about the. It just sounds like he was going to say more.
Yeah.
As soon as it was done, he bolted for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like bow and then fucking gone.
Oh, so cute.
It was cute.
It was fantastic, man, and he knows he can't hit the same notes he could.
Yeah.
And it was so a friend of mine was
Getting
at the
Jardine's
concert.
brother to back him was not a bad idea, though.
Yeah.
Some sort of relation to the band.
Jardine's son.
Son, that's what I mean, not
and
brother,
and who's like 50 and doing falsetto, and
Yeah.
he like did like change my heart, she's somewhat closer now, and then the son like they just did like a football team, like
just-
passed it on.
Oh yeah, he just seems like an old man. When they were like, when he talked about what was that song that you were telling me about before at your house?
Which one?
We might not be together forever. The first song off the second side of Pet
I
Sounds.
just wasn't made for these times, or
No. I just wasn't. Maybe that's a good song. No, I might not.
Oh yeah,
love
God
you
only
forever.
knows.
God only knows.
Yeah.
When he was like, "Oh, it's a great song," and Paul McCartney liked it, and he goes, "Yeah, Paul McCartney did like this one. He said he liked it. Should we start then?"
Yeah.
It was like, but he was almost like bragging, like I met a president once. He was like, oh, Paul McCartney said he liked it.
He met Paul McCartney like in '66, and they were
Really?
like friendly rivals because they were competing.
It seemed
on
like in
different sides.
that, it might have been a made-for-TV movie that I saw.
Yeah.
That they were always tortured that they couldn't get number 1. They were always at number 2. All their songs were number 2 behind Beatles songs.
Yeah.
And it would kill them.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to hike up there, but I could see that being a fucking landslide as soon as you touch it.
Oh yeah, he's a great man.
So they had a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, and they sort of met in the studio when he was making, I think, Pat Sounds, and sort of, I think Paul McCartney played him She's Leaving Home on the piano before they recorded it for Sgt. Pepper's.
Really?
And Brian was like, oh man, he's so good, you know?
Oh, you're so good. That's cool. They had a friendly rivalry.
Yeah. It was like one-upping each other, like Rubber Sounds, Revolver, Pat Sounds. This is like Rubber Soul, I say.
Yeah.
These albums are all the same period. They're sort of like, oh, have you heard Rubber Soul? Oh, let's make Pat Sounds. Oh, they made Revolver.
Oh, really?
shit,
They
let's
kept feeding off each other?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I mean, it was dark. What's that first lyric of that song?
God only knows.
Yeah.
I may not always love you. Yeah, it's like a. That's like.
That's you're right. That's a love song. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then it's like, if you should ever leave me, my life would still go on. Believe me. That's,
Yeah,
wow,
exactly.
That's
it's
some
like, yeah, I'm not going to kill myself. It's not going to be over. But then what's his point of that song?
God only knows what I'd be without you. I mean, it's.
He'd just be like, I'd be less of a man. But he's like, no, I'll be fine.
There's
Like,
just,
I'll
there's just
go
no
on.
way.
Like,
There's just no way. It's almost like he's saying, you know, you just can't get caught up in thinking about that or something. You know, never know, like sliding doors.
God only knows what I'd be without
I actually
you.
don't remember the lyrics that well.
Yeah, I got to go back and read them.
Amazing song.
Yeah, my friend Mac Lindsay told me that. He was like, dude, that Pet Sounds is so much darker than what you remember as the Beach Boys of like not I Want to Hold Your Hand. That's the Beatles version of that, but like Surfing USA and all that stuff, and like
fun.
Sloop John B. And,
and they were never going to be called the Beach Boys. Their name was the Pendletones.
Oh, really?
And they made like an album which was called Surfin', I think. It was the first small album, 7-inch single.
Yeah.
And I think the label just called them the Beach Boys without asking them or anything. And they were like, what? Really? Yeah,
really?
It's a big craze.
The label
beach
just
thing.
called them that?
Yeah, so they stuck with the beach motto for
those Beach Boys
the theme.
From Pasadena, California.
And then they sort of like, let's do other stuff. But they were still called the Beach Boys.
Oh.
So they didn't do a surf song for like 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that whole Pat Sounds, none of that stuff is about surfing. None of it.
But they still have that light, like xylophone or whatever that is, bongos and shit, like a little bit of like that vibe, but it wasn't really that. It was like, you could tell that was their influence, but then they changed.
Yeah, and it's so funny to listen to.
Yeah, but Mac was like, they were way darker.
Yeah. And this is more like a composer album,
Uh-huh.
And most of the stuff we call surf music is just like a guitar with tremolo and reverb. Like
Dick Dale.
Yeah. That's the normal surf music.
Yeah.
They did these crazy harmonies on top of surf music, so...
On top of surf music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really was high and low together.
Yeah.
The Beatles had that with the White Album. So they were this I Want to Hold Your Hand, kind of like, boy band stuff. And then at some point, like, no, actually, we became super talented musicians and we all grew up. And now we're going to do songs like, well, not Revolution, but like, that whole White Album, I forget what was on that. But apparently that one's the one where they were like, hey, we're to be taken seriously now as musicians.
And when they did like Sgt. Pepper's, they're doing like... So the first album the Beatles did was recorded in 12 hours, and like Sgt. Pepper's was 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's like overdubs and samplers and like the samplers of the day, like mellotrons and crazy stuff.
And this one, there's no vocals, just
no
music.
Voices, no voices. Oh, was it
no voices?
Yeah.
No, he kept repeating himself. No voices.
There's no vocals on this. No voices.
Yeah. Like,
hey, everybody, it's a song I hope you enjoyed. It's called Surfing USA. Surfing USA. Hey, everybody, it's a song I wrote. It's called Surfing USA.
And here's where the drums start.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, we're drum.
But he was on it, man. He was a tight show.
He was on it. It got better as it went. The first few, like the warm-up to Pet Sounds was like, oh, what is this? Is later stuff? And then Jardine was trying to tell him to do another album.
That guy who came on stage was Blondie Chaplin.
Blondie Chaplin. Did you look up who he was?
Yeah, he was a member of the Beach Boys in the 70s.
Oh.
And he sang like leaked vocals on one of their hits in the 70s from an album called Holland.
What hit?
That's called Sail on Sailor, and that's the one he did. He did like 3 songs, and the last one was obviously like a famous one. Like one that we really heard before.
That's why he got way into the crowd and stuff.
Yeah, and this guy basically, he's been touring with the Rolling Stones for 10 years.
He seems like a Rolling Stones guy.
He just looks like he's a mixture of Ron Wood, Keith Richards, and a little bit of Lou Reed as well.
Yeah. The way he like shuffled through he didn't dance through the other, but he went and played with every single one of the band members, played to them a little bit.
And he had like a big scarf. I read up on him after the show, and apparently he didn't meet Brian for 40 years after he quit the Beach Boys in 73.
He hadn't seen him again for 40 years?
Yeah, and then he did like a track together. That's one of the songs he did there.
In 2013?
Yeah, and then he just joined him on tour.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Losing track of somebody for 40 years.
And he was in the Beach Boys for a year when he was like 20.
Really?
And then now he's like 60-something, and he's like, I'm back with Brian.
Wow. He's like, yeah, job's a job. He probably didn't even hate him. Or did he hate him? Or did they just go their own way?
I think they just went their own ways. He did some other stuff, and...
yeah, you go on tour with the Rolling Stones, like, I got a gig.
Yeah.
It's fine. Good luck to you.
He's like a backup guitar player. He plays like acoustic behind Keith. And
damn. That's cool.
Al Jardine had good
he was pretty good.
Voice.
He held it together for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, that opera house is so beautiful.
Oh, it's a good venue.
The way it's all the glass looking out into the harbor.
Yeah.
So you can see the sunset too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gorgeous. I can imagine an intermission at an actual opera, and being out there drinking some white wine and just be like, Jesus, I don't want to go back inside.
It's sunny out.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Clear water.
It's cool how the sunset's sideways there too.
Yeah. Yeah, because like when I went to Spain for the first time when I was a kid, I was like, wow, the sun is so high up. It's above me. I wasn't used to that. It's like, no, the sun is usually there, like the bottom.
And even it gets 24-hour sunlight here?
Yeah, like because of the way the I don't remember the word in
Yeah, I
English,
don't
but
know.
because of the way
Axis.
the inclination of the planet, in summer we are pretty much exposed to it.
All the time. So it goes like from down to like up a little bit to more down to up a little bit.
Yeah,
down.
depending on where you are in the country, you can actually just see it like, it's going down and it's going up again and it never went away.
Wow.
It's just red. It just turned red for a bit there.
Yeah, one time in Alaska I did that. It
Yeah.
was so cool.
Yeah.
See people stumbling home because the city center
Yeah.
is the same as like where the bars are.
Yeah.
So you people living like walking past the government building, stumbling.
Yeah.
And it looks like 2 p.m.
You can see people wrecked
Wrecked.
in daylight. Like, blah, blah. It looks like a zombie apocalypse. Reykjavik downtown, like 4 a.m, sun is coming up and people are vomiting. Like, blah, they're so wasted.
Is there a specific type of drunk in Reykjavik they call Reykt?
Oh man, you either hit the rake or the rake hits you.
Do you guys have a special booze here? Is there like a booze of Iceland?
The traditional one is called brennivin, burning wine. So it's like a schnapps with cumin in it.
With cumin? Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to taste nasty. They have it in Sweden too, like similar.
Did you see Sean Patton's cumin story on my
No.
show? Oh, you got to see it.
Sean Penn did a cumin story?
It's about cumin. It's all
Really?
about cumin. Yeah. Yeah, it was my favorite story from this last season.
Oh, I have to see that.
Oh yeah, it's like 2 back on the playlist right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that story was like it was so fucking killer. Yeah, the unedited version's on YouTube. You get those on YouTube here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, those are the better ones.
No filters here.
No filters. So what's it called? Something Vine?
Brennivin. It's also called like Black Death.
Is it disgusting?
No, it's okay. It's okay, but it's traditionally like had if you're having pickled shark, the
Yeah.
nasty Icelandic food.
That goes with it.
Like the shark, I think it's really nasty, but the brennivin is fine. It's okay.
Dude, I gotta get some of this. Either whale, puffin, or shark. I gotta
yeah.
eat some of this before I leave.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
we'll do it up north, maybe here, but I gotta get some of this shit.
There's so many tourist places that will cater to you if you want to do that.
So no normal place does it?
Well, sure, like some will do like.
I don't care. I'll get
whale
a
and
tourist
that
place if
stuff.
they do it well.
But it's not like I don't eat that stuff on a traditional night out.
Right.
Oh, let's go and have some rotten food from the Middle Ages.
I don't even want the traditional. I just want I'm not gonna be able to get it anywhere else.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let me try it. As long as I can get it here, fine.
It's illegal, of course. Like
In most of
whale-
the world.
Yeah, whale meat is
Yeah,
illegal.
whale. I gotta get whale. It's
Yeah.
illegal. I could probably get shark other places. I can't get whale anywhere else.
Yeah.
Could I get puffin anywhere else?
Yeah, you can probably get puffin. Well, depending on where they migrate. Where do they go? I don't
I don't
remember.
know. I had a zebra burger in London.
Oh, zebra burger.
Yeah. I was walking through Borough Market deciding what to eat, and I saw a zebra burger, and I was like, yep, I'm in. I don't have to walk anymore.
Yeah.
For sure I'm getting this. This fucking country's
We're gonna go
beautiful.
get langoustine now. We're
Yeah.
gonna get like the small lobsters.
And what is that? Explain what that is.
Is it like a Arctic lobster?
And it's thinner?
Yeah, it's like it's got longer crushers or like thinner. It's not like a huge ass Maine lobster.
Yeah.
It's more like little tails you eat.
Is it like crawfish?
Very similar, I think. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Quite
Oh.
similar.
Is it crawfish or is it lobster?
Well, it's lobster.
Okay.
Called langoustine. In English, it's called langoustine. We just call it lobster.
Okay.
There's a few types around.
Have you ever had crawfish?
Yeah.
They're hard to suck out that fucking head juice. It's like, am I doing it right? And if you do it wrong, it's so disgusting.
A bit like having shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. You got to
Like-
peel off that thing.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right, let's put it away. When you come back, though, I want to talk about girls here. I want to talk about the fucking dating scene out here. I know you're not that, but you know you have friends that have been into it, your brothers that have been into it. I want to talk about that app to see if you're related.
Yeah, you can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, wait, let's finish off. Traditional. What is there a beer of Iceland?
Yes.
What is that? What are those?
Many kinds now.
That I'll probably get more than
We didn't
more
have
than the
beer
blood wine.
until like 1989. It was legally, it was banned. Beer was banned until 1989.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like there was Prohibition in the 30s, I guess, or 20s, similar era as in
Just because America said, or because you did it on your own?
I think many countries did it actually. They wanted to eradicate the evils of alcohol
scourge.
and just created the whole underground scene.
Yeah.
And the bootlegging. And then they lifted the ban here. I think they were almost forced to lift the ban from like people who were doing trade with us, like Portuguese, who were like, we got wine. We want to give you wine for fish or something. None of this I can back up. I'm not sure about
Sure,
any of
yeah,
it.
whatever.
But
I heard about the cod in Norway that they said it's all the Portuguese take it from there, the caulaula or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
capola.
Yeah.
I don't forget. But yeah, they would always trade it to Portugal. It's like Portugal delicacy, but it's mined in.
yeah, pescado. What do they call
What is it called?
Well, pescado is just fish,
Pescado,
and I
yeah.
think they call the cod is called. I forget what it's called. Salted, like
Yeah,
salted
salted
fish.
cod. Yeah, salted cod.
I forget what it's called in Spanish.
It's pretty good.
It's a delicacy here too, as well.
Oh.
Salt fish.
That looks fucking great. How could you not take... I guess if I lived right here, I'd walk up there, but I wouldn't drive all the way here to walk up
No.
there. Oh, I mean, you go over that mountain, you do mushrooms, and you just... It's all yours land. It's just yours.
Yes.
To be alone. Fuck. Okay, so when we come back, we got to talk about... Well, first we'll finish talking about the beers. But the women, / dating, religion.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
And the mushrooms here we got to talk about.
I'm an expert on all three.
I know, but you've heard of the stuff. I told you, my version of expert is someone who has more know-how than I have.
Yeah.
So you've lived here.
Yeah.
If I had to be like, hey, I have a question about Iceland, and I'm with a group of you, me, and Bobby Kelly, we're going to ask you
Yeah.
over any of us.
I'm just trying to picture you, me, and Bobby Kelly in Iceland, and you asking about mushroom tips all the time.
Oh, he would be like, you fucking addict.
You fucking addict. I'm sober.
Do it with your Bobby Kelly.
I can't remember how he talks, but he has a funny laugh, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure does. So so it was banned until 1980 what?
1989.
Damn.
The ban was lifted.
I drank beer before 1989.
Yeah. You could buy it at the duty-free store, and people would sort of basically go abroad and drink beer like, woohoo, we can have beer now.
Could you smuggle it in? Or was that
it was
no?
a big trade, smuggling it in. And
So you could get it on planes and bring in a bottle or two?
yeah, and like there were people who were smuggling it like on freight ships and selling it.
Do you remember having beer before it was lifted?
No, I was like 8 when it was lifted, so
No one would bother with some kid.
yeah, I can't remember that
Yeah.
being an issue at all. But I do know there's a good story. There's a guy, an Icelandic guy, he lived in England when it was lifted. This
Yeah.
is like March 1st, B-Day it's called here.
B-Day?
Yeah, the beer day. March 1st, 1989. And he was living abroad. He was working, I think, in London.
Yeah.
And he got like a plane ticket sent to him from his friends. They were all pitching in like, we're going to get you over to Iceland for the weekend because we're going to drink beer at an Icelandic bar. And he lied to his boss that he had to go to a funeral
Cool.
to get away, like because he had to work on the Saturday or something, or
Sure,
he
cool.
needed to go a day earlier. So he went to this place and just got so hammered that he barely remembered it. And then when he came back to the UK, the boss asked him a week later, so how was the funeral? He was like, oh, well, it was just, pretty standard. She was old, so she had good innings. So was there a wake, like get drunk or something? No, just had some coffee and some cake. That's what we usually do. Oh, because I have this Hello magazine here. So he pulls out this magazine, and there's like a pictorial coverage of this because this was such a freak novelty for the Brits. Like, they're having it now for the first time. And there was a huge ass photo of him lying on the ground at the bar, drinking drinking beer from a 2-liter glass boot. A
Really?
boot, yeah. It was a thing like, hey,
Like
if
a
you
beer
can,
fest boot?
yeah, if you can finish the boot, you don't have to pay. And apparently he didn't finish it, but he lost his memory. And the guy was like, dude, you didn't have to lie that somebody died. You could have just told me you were having beer for the first time legally.
Ever,
I would
yeah.
have given you the week off.
That's funny. See, this all seems like it was underwater at some point. All these rocks.
Probably was
the
under glacier,
smoothness of
all
the water.
of it. Yeah,
Oh.
glacier.
God, it's amazing how life just springs up.
Yeah.
And so, what are the beers here then? What do they have here?
Now we have
they
so many like small breweries. We used to have like the main brands were called Gold, Gut, or Viking.
Yeah, Viking.
Then-
I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah,
for
those are the
ads.
big ones, and now we just have shitloads of microbreweries and like smaller breweries and all kinds of pale ale and stuff. There was some guy who made whale ale. Okay,
Whale ale?
Yeah, he made like whale beer. It cost an outrage, and apparently it was illegal. The way he did it was
Really?
not sanitary. He was using like something from whale, and people were like, boycott Iceland because they're having whale beer, and I'm like,
And you were like-
not really.
Yeah.
Some
What?
guy is making it. I'm not drinking.
He sold
it.
8 cases. Don't boycott all of Iceland because this dude fucking was an asshole.
Yeah, it's got like blubber in it or something. I don't know. I have never tried it.
Yeah.
Don't boycott me. come see the show.
Yeah, that's funny. It's like, well, come on, man. I'm not him.
Yeah.
Putting me in the category with him. And so, do you like it? Is all those beers good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't drink that much beer these days, but sometimes when I do, I like to buy like a few different kinds.
Yeah, switch it up.
And
that's what I do too.
Yeah, like pale ale, white ale, and this is very
Pale ale
hoppy.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's all hoppy and gross.
Yeah.
Do people here drink not Finnish beer, Icelandic beer, or do they drink sort of all over beer?
Well, they used to drink more foreign beer, but after the boom of beer making started,
Yeah.
I mean, it just became more of a thing. Like, have you got the new Christmas beer from Kalti? Oh, we have to get that. It's a limited supply.
Oh, really?
It became like a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good, but it's fairly new. It's like a 10-year-old scene.
Really?
To have like that many.
And also, there's probably
kinds.
way less taxes on it. The one it's probably cheaper. The ones that are made here.
I'm not
right?
sure. I think alcohol in general is just taxed through the roof here.
Oh, it's not imported stuff.
We have like state liquor stores. You can't buy it in any other place. You can buy it at a restaurant but for like a massive amount of money, or a bar. But if you want to buy it yourself, you have to go to the state-run liquor store.
Yeah.
And it's not open on Sundays. And it's the
Fucking
same model
Jesus.
as in Sweden.
Same what?
Same model as in Sweden. They don't have like an off license or a kiosk that sells booze. It's forbidden. And people don't want to change it, actually. There's always people
Really?
in the parliament who want to change it and have more freedom to buy white wine on a Sunday in a grocery store.
Yeah.
But most people are like, nah, it's fine. It's fine. We're used to this.
Why mess with it?
Yeah, the state should do it. Shouldn't be the people who own the supermarkets. Yeah,
Dude, in America, you can buy beer at a 7-Eleven.
exactly.
No, in LA, not in the East Coast.
Because it's a state-run store, the pricing is really weird. They might have like a really fine red wine, but the taxes are just basically the price. So how much booze is in it? Well, it's 11. Well, that's not much. So this much taxes. Oh, so you can get a really cheap, good wine, and then you get a really nasty wine that has more booze in it, like more alcohol.
Like Boone's Farm shit.
Yeah, and then like, that's more expensive.
Oh.
I know a guy who, when the banks were collapsing in Iceland, took out all his saving and bought red wine.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, I can sell this shit for the next few years.
Yeah.
They're going to skyrocket the prices. They're going to raise the taxes on booze.
And
the currency is falling. It's going to be more expensive. I'm just going to sell the wine in a few years. It's going to be more expensive.
How'd that go?
I don't know. I think he maybe drank all the wine.
Yeah. That's the problem with dealing drugs.
Yeah.
You do the drugs. You can't use the product.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's so nice out here. All right, so you guys don't really eat the whale and the shark and the puffin. It's just something you have eaten.
Yeah, I have eaten it,
Right.
but it's not part of my diet.
Right.
It's it's a special occasion if let's do something crazy.
What I heard in Thailand is, how they make cricket on a stick.
Yeah.
And you go there like, I got to eat it. And then you find out later that it's like, Thai people don't eat that.
No.
They only started doing that because they think foreigners think they eat that.
Yeah.
So like, fucking cook it. You guys eat it. We'll sell it. We'll sell fucking crickets. We'll bake crickets and sell them to these idiot foreigners.
Yeah.
None of us eat that shit.
But then again, there's something to be said for like eating insects because they're filled with protein. And
Are they?
Yeah. It's a very cost-effective way to sustain yourself. Just eat some insects.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, I
but
guess so. I guess so.
You can probably make a delicacy out of it. It's just sounds
I've
so
eaten ants
gross.
before.
Really?
In Denmark.
Wow, in Denmark?
Yeah, Noma, a fine restaurant.
At Noma. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, then it must be fine. Michelin stars.
I mean, they made it for flavoring. It tastes citrusy on the whatever food it's on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't just a plate of ants. It was like a garnish on top of like meat or something.
Yeah. It wasn't the main course.
Well, there was no main course. It was 26 courses.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
They're closing now, huh?
Are they?
Yeah. The
Oh.
guy's like, I'm done. He's gonna open up some other restaurant somewhere else.
That's a shame.
He's like, I did it. The best restaurant in the world. 3 out of the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. What am I gonna just keep going like this forever?
Oh, I
Nah.
should have gone. Never been there.
It's hard to get reservations, but
Yeah.
if you explain to them you're an out-of-towner and you're a comedian, they're more likely to get you in.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they did with us.
Yeah, you and Bob Kelly went
Yeah,
there.
they were like, there's a wait list, but it's not like an exact wait list. Were you still there when we went?
I think I was there, but I was doing something else that day. You guys
Oh.
went on some... I think you went to see a castle, didn't you?
Maybe. Oh, Bob did.
Bob did. He went and
Yeah.
saw the Danish castle.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
who ran the festival?
Thomas Marshall.
Thomas.
I've been in touch with him. He's a great guy.
He is a great guy.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him because it was like he had this great. He had the money for it, I guess, but he's like, I want to put on this festival. I want to bring comedy to Copenhagen. And then it's like, oh yeah, festivals lose money their first year.
Yeah,
first probably
yeah.
like 3 or 4 years in every festival.
It was a big room, and yeah, it was the first time he did it, but put a good lineup.
Good lineup,
good
though, yeah,
lineup.
for
That's
sure.
how we met. That's
Yeah.
how I met Bob as well, and the Irish guy, Colm O'Regan.
Yeah.
Colm.
Yeah.
Colm said, he's probably taking a bath. Taking a bath? When you lose money, it's called taking a bath.
Yeah.
Oh, the first time I heard that, I will always remember him because of that.
Really?
He took a bath.
Take a bath.
But the crowds were good. I mean,
Crowds were fun. They were
yeah.
into it. They were
Yeah.
like, this is great. Foreign English-speaking comedy. It's
Yeah.
great.
I was having lots of fun doing all my English stuff about Denmark because so many of them were expats.
I remember that you hitting all the this country, this country, this country.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that in America because we don't know enough about other countries. Specifically, Ireland is different than England, and this is different than Denmark.
To be fair, though, to go on about the differences between Sweden and Norway is
Yeah.
a stretch. I mean, I am
Oh, 'cause
basically
they're exactly
saying,
the same.
hey, they're tiny little different. But I'm making it sound like, oh, they're like day and night.
Yeah. All right, let's get some of this languise. What is it called? Is this the ocean? No.
Langoustine, yeah.
This is the ocean. Mm-hmm. What's that over there? Oh, it just comes in and out?
Yep.
Dude, this
See,
country's fucking gorgeous.
This is-
I remember Bob asking you, Bobby Kelly. I remember him saying this. Where like, dude, you're really good. Like, you're a really funny comic.
Yeah.
He goes, you should move to America. And I remember your response. I might be wrong on this. I remember your response being like, why would I want? What do you mean? I was born and I like my country.
I think I probably said thank you.
Yeah.
No.
It seemed like it was thank you for the comment, but like I have no interest in moving to another foreign country.
Well, I might have at some point, but like I have roots here, like massive roots here.
You're making a great living. You were like, I have a house. Like I got so
many friends here too.
Yeah, there's that too.
It's a happening place. Yeah, but I want to do stuff in America, but I would just like to do maybe a festival or
I
something.
mean, it's the big time. You must look at it like that, right?
Yeah. America is
comic
like...
here.
Yeah, I mean, I went to America for the first time when I was 25. Everything I knew about it was from movies.
Right.
So just to go there for the first time was just overwhelming. It was Minneapolis, you know?
Yeah.
It was Minneapolis. I was on a 24-hour stop as a flight attendant, and I was just blown away by everything I saw. I was like,
you were a
my
flight
God,
attendant.
it smells like cinnamon.
Cinnamon
Target?
buns?
What's this fucking place? Target? I'm going to buy an iPod. It was crazy. I spent all my money.
Oh, you Icelandic Air?
Yeah, I had like a per diem for the
Wow.
flights. I had some dollars. I was like, I want all. I bought a Darth Vader helmet, and I
Really?
almost bought like a Fender Stratocaster American standard.
Yeah.
But I ran out of money.
Really?
No, but yeah, it's the big time. It's
stand-up, at
huge.
least.
Yeah, for stand-up. I mean, the sheer amount of quality material you
Yeah.
get there on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And all the best stand-up. My favorite stand-up all comes from America, and it just evolved that way. I mean, I just got exposed to it more, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we started it.
Yeah, I think so.
We started it.
The modern stand-up is an American thing.
I had a film teacher who was very open about everything, and he goes, we're going to study American film in this class. He goes, that's not to say there's no other good film coming out of other countries. He even pointed out a film. One of the things we studied was a foreign, like a German film, because there are things coming out. No, that was a different teacher.
Yeah.
But he pointed out a film that was really, really good from somewhere from France, I think.
Yeah.
And he goes, there are some good things coming out, but and this is not to sound cocky. America is the best film industry. Hollywood is by far the best. They're doing good stuff, but it's not like Hollywood.
You just get slammed, of course, for all the mass stuff you make.
Yeah,
But
all the shitty fucking
there's
X-Men
so
garbage.
many movies,
That
and there's
last
so many
X-Men movie
movies
is
that
so
I
bad.
like. There's so many great American movies that I realize afterwards are nowhere near as big as I thought they were.
Independent movies.
Yeah, independent movies.
Yeah.
I think they're big, but then I see, it isn't released everywhere in America.
Yeah. I stopped
Limited.
watching the Oscars. Everyone's like, you heard about Oscars So White? You know,
Yeah,
where-
yeah, I remember
but
that.
I'm like, guys, it's not the national, it's just some group. And they always give it up for like the biggest movies.
Yeah.
Like when A Beautiful Mind beat out In the Bedroom.
Yeah.
And A Beautiful Mind was just like a typical, they use music to force your emotion.
I think it beat Mulholland Drive as well.
Yeah, and it was like these amazing movies, and it's this other movie that's okay.
Yeah.
That one, it's like, that was the last time I cared about the Oscars.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with if it's black or white, because these guys are just in it for the money.
Yeah.
So don't listen to them. Make your own fucking festival.
Iceland.
Make your own fucking
An Icelander has never won the Oscar, but we
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a couple of nominees, and
for
one
best film.
one for best foreign film, and one
best
for
foreign
best
film.
short, and one
Yeah.
for best song. That was Björk and her
What, for
lyricist.
Dancer in the Dark?
Yeah, Björk and Schoen.
She didn't win for
lyricist.
Dancer in the Dark?
Didn't win, and then
I remember her afterwards. I had this problem with my stand-up and acting.
yeah,
time I was thinking, after class, I was like, it's pulling me away. And he said like Bjork had this problem when she like was nominated for like an Oscar for acting.
Yeah.
And she felt like she was cheating on music.
Yeah.
Felt
Well,
like-
no, I think she won Best Actress
She
or
did,
something.
right? Or something like that.
In Cannes, I think she won.
Yeah.
Or maybe the film was just picked the best film at Cannes. But
It was something big.
now we have like a friend of mine who's actually was in the group with my older brother.
Yeah.
Johan Johansson, he's made the big time as a composer in Hollywood, and he
Yeah.
got nominated for Best Composer 2 years in a row now.
Oh, it's great.
So he did the soundtrack for
That's right.
Sicario. You know that
Oh
film?
yeah, I remember hearing about
That
it.
was him, and he also did the soundtrack for the Stephen Hawking movie, The Theory of Everything.
Uh-huh.
But he lost both times. Like Ennio Morricone won the second time.
Because they're like, we got to give it to him. He's been around for forever.
Yeah, the
That's
score-
They always give it to older people too. Like, well, he hasn't won one yet.
I think the composers have that more than others. Like Thomas Newman was nominated for the 12th time. He's
Really?
never won.
Oh,
I think he's never won.
he's
And-
Icelandic.
No, Thomas Newman, like American Beauty and that stuff.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, that's so funny. Like, hey, Johan got nominated again. Who's he up against? John Williams and Ennio Morricone. Okay, well,
Oh, well, nice try.
Maybe you'll not go to the Oscars this year.
I remember talking to exactly. I remember talking to Chris Porter, and him and I was talking about he was last three and last comic standing. It was him, Ty Barnett, and Josh Blue.
Yeah.
Ty Barnett's a black guy. Chris Porter's a white guy, and Josh Blue's a white guy who has got cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
He does all his jokes about cerebral
He's been
palsy.
here.
Yeah. And I remember asking, oh, really? He's been here? That's
Yeah.
cool. Smokes shitloads of weed.
Yeah.
And I remember asking Ty, not Ty, I remember asking Chris, I was like, so, do you think you or Ty are going to come in second? It was like, of course Josh Blue's going to win. No one can vote against him. He gets like 10 standing ovations in a set.
Yeah.
But, you know, second's great. There's
Yeah.
no way anybody's going to beat Josh Blue.
Sometimes you have those contests where you're really like, oh, the real contest is the second place.
Yeah.
We are driving past Iceland's maximum security prison.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to ask you about crime, too.
Yeah, this is it's called Little Lava, Litla Hraun. That's what it's called.
Where is it? Is it that up there?
Yep, that's the
Who's in there? Like, who?
murderers, rapists.
How many murderers do you get here?
Well, there's some.
Somebody told me, and I know you told me it's wrong, that there hadn't been a murder here in 10 years.
That's
just
not
wrong.
right. But we don't have. We have like maybe you get like a year where there's no murder. I remember once a guy was stabbed and he died, and that was the first murder in like 2 years or something.
Wow.
In the whole country.
No guns here, right?
No, you can't own like a handgun here.
You can?
Well,
You're
you
not.
can if you're like a member of a gun club, like a shooting
Right,
competition society. It's restricted, heavily restricted, so you can't own. But we own a shitload of guns, though. I mean,
What, like
Shotguns
rifles
and
stuff?
rifles,
Shotgun-
yeah.
For skeet shooting and for polar bear shooting?
yeah, and like shooting, like hunting, and
So that's a maximum security prison?
yeah, I've done a gig there.
Really?
I've done two
Look at these
gigs
ducks
there.
crossing the road. That's so nice.
And Doug Stanhope did a gig there.
In the prison?
Yeah, that was
Wow.
like he just demanded. He wanted to go to Iceland, and he said, "I want to do a gig at the prison," and he had to do it sober.
Oh, really?
You can't enter the prison if you're
Drunk?
drunk.
And you can't get drunk there.
And he just said like, yeah, it's a sober gig. It's weird.
Yeah. How many people are in there?
Maybe 80 people are in that one.
Wow.
There's a shortage of prison space.
Rapists are in there too?
Well, I mean,
There's a shortage of prison space? You only plan for fucking 70?
yeah, there's like a lot of people who are waiting for their sentence. Like maybe some guys who got involved in drugs and then they cleaned up their act, but they're still waiting for like 2 years or something to do their time. So by the time when they have to go in, they've maybe been sober for 2 years. Maybe they have a kid or something.
Oh, and they
they're
still have
like,
to go in, or the
now
judge-
I have to go hit bottom. Now I have to go
Oh.
in. But they're trying to change it, like having like them tagged instead. Like I just serve a bit of it here and then. But like if you kill someone here,
That's it.
you don't get like sent to prison for eternity.
You don't?
No, you get
Oh.
a life sentence, which is like 16 or 18 years, and you don't have to serve all of it.
I think that in America, the I know everyone says they get off. I'm not going to talk about rape, but let's talk about murder. Like, oh, so you can murder somebody, get off in 6 years, you know, and it seems very low. But at the same time, dude, if you went to jail, to prison, full prison, for like 6 months,
That's horrible.
your life is completely different. It's changed forever.
Yeah.
You're done with your job. You're
Yeah.
done with your friends. You're done with your girlfriends and wives. Like, it just changes you completely. Giving up your freedom for that much time is so much.
It's such
so
a
6
punishment,
years,
yeah.
it's way more.
Yeah.
And 25 years is like, that's it. You're fucked as a person. your life is over.
It's
you might be able to ride it out afterwards and get a job at Walmart, and that's it.
It's such a big part of your life, and not just your life, like the rest of your life.
Yeah.
If you're like 30, how long are you going to live? 40, 50 years if you're lucky?
55?
Yeah. And you're going to do time for like 5 years? That's a lot of your life.
And people go, well,
there.
you should. You murder someone, you can't get off scot-free. It's like, no, not scot-free.
No.
But like, if you go into jail at 30 and come out at 35, my comedy career's over.
Yeah.
You know? Even if it's not something that they'll write me off on, even if it was, let's say, embezzling, where no one would really hate me for it.
Yeah.
You know?
White collar.
Yeah, or drunk driving and hit somebody. I could probably come back from that, like from the fans-wise. But I'd be done. I couldn't do it in prison. Mm-hmm. I'd be done. I just think, like, the punishments are almost too much. And a 5-year sentence or 25 to 50-year sentence is the same amount of, like, hey, don't do this.
Yeah.
You know, it makes people not want to do it.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think increasing the fucking sentences makes people less likely to fucking commit the crime.
There is, like, they can sentence you to life in prison here.
Here?
Like, yeah, they can do that.
For what? Killing a cop?
I think you have to be convicted twice for
Yeah, there you
murder
go.
or attempted murder. You have to be convicted twice for attempted murder or manslaughter. Then they have permission to sentence you for life, and they've done it twice.
Really?
But it's been overturned both times. You need like a special. I think they have more judges when they do that. We don't have like the same system. We don't have a jury system. It's just judges.
Wow. To me, life should be like, listen, as a society, we've all decided that you can't be turned around. Mm-hmm. And so we just don't want you around us. Yeah. It's almost like banish you to an island.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what life is. Like, it's not about you rehabbing anymore. It's about us not wanting to be around you ever.
Yeah, we just want to get you out of sight.
Yeah. Because if I'm a punk, a 22-year-old like gangster, and I kill somebody, you know, I show no remorse. When I'm 32, I mean, right at 32 in my life, I was so much different than when I was 22.
Yeah.
You were too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
So if I could prove, like, I'm not going to murder anybody, yeah, go back to society.
Yeah. Hey, we'll just take you now and freeze you in time. Society will move on, and we'll put you back in, and you won't know what smartphones are.
Yeah.
Like, that's the deal.
Yeah, this life situation. I mean, I guess it's only because, like, jails make money off you, and they want to keep you in there. But
that's the thing. That's why they keep people in jail for so long in America.
And then it makes everyone think, like, how dare you get off with this much time? It's a lot of time.
How many Americans are in prison now? Is it like 1% of the population?
It's a lot,
like
man.
3.5 million?
3.5 million. Is that what it is?
I think it is. I think it's around that.
That's crazy.
You know, that means so many people have been to jail. So many more people have done time.
Oh, right, exactly.
So
I've been there. It's like right now.
And if you're a convicted felon, you can't vote, or you can't
who
own
cares
a gun
about voting?
or something.
The system's broken anyway.
Yeah,
you can't own a gun.
It's all screwed.
You can't own a gun, even though guns for protection are overthrowing the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get caught for non-violent crime and then no longer be able to vote or get.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's like they just call you a violent criminal because you're like, well, I was selling drugs. I wasn't killing anybody.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think I need to Google Maps this place.
Okay,
I drove past it, I think.
Did you really? Oh, I like that dick statue right there. I guess it's a.
That's what we call
anchor,
an anchor, a dick statue.
All right, let's go get some Lagunitas or whatever it's called. What is it called?
Langosteen.
Langosteen. Okay. Boom, and that's the episode. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't forget. I guess if I'm smart, that was Bjork. I saw her house. Ari showed me her house. My one big regret in Iceland was that I did not try. What are they called? The blue poison mushrooms. The blue ghost, something like that. Purple poison, something like that. It's supposed to be the strongest mushroom in the world, and for sure I would have tried it at the Bieber concert. For sure. What would you guys think of Justin Bieber? Like, if you got free tickets, because my promoter for my show was also promoting Justin Bieber the next day. So they're like, Ari, do you guys want to go? Justin Bieber, free tickets. You'd go, right? You'd have to go. You'd have to see it. What would you expect? Here's what I'd expect. Here's what we both expected, actually. I mean, we're sure. This is how it goes, you guys. All those bands who are big, sure, you might not like the music, or you might not have known it. You'll like a couple songs that you didn't realize were him, and you'll be blown away by the performance. And I'm telling you right now, that performance was so subpar. He just meandered through everything. How is he I don't get how he's the biggest. And I know you're like us little kids. He's not, first of all, he doesn't even sing his songs. I'm holding the mic to my face. I'm not talking about lip syncing. I mean, like, he had a microphone, and he had it by his side for all but 5 songs. And even in those 5 songs, some of them he was just singing a couple words in them. I mean, it was hilarious. Danced around a little bit. The background dancers were good. The light show was good. I heard he went to a Fish concert and he saw their light show and he's like, "Oh, you guys, you're lighting my shit from now on," and just paid him. Anyway, it was all right. But if I would have had those mushrooms, woo! What are they called? The blue ghosts, something like that. Blue poison. Apparently, some of the berserker mushroom. It's these things that they used to give the Vikings when they were going to battle, and it make them like not feel pain. So they'd have like an arm cut off, and they'd be like, "I don't give a fuck. I'm going to Valhalla, motherfucker. Let's keep fighting." So they could like be the perfect warrior. Oh, well, didn't manage to find those, but I for sure would have done them. I heard they built up a tolerance to them too, like Inigo Montoya did, or whatever, and Princess Bride built up a tolerance to that. It wasn't Inigo Montoya, it was the other guy. Built up a tolerance, and so he couldn't hit him, so it hits him a little bit, enough they go, but everyone else would kill him. Anyway, fucking great trip. Thank you, Ari Eldjarn, for taking me around. Oh yeah, so he showed me Bjork's house. So, yeah, my one regret, not doing those mushrooms, but that's fine, because I had so many good other times. Brian Wilson was fun. I cried a little bit. I know it wasn't all of them singing the songs. When you hear all those songs in concert at the fucking concert hall in Iceland, by the way, amazing building. You guys, I'm not describing these things enough. I'm sorry. Let's talk about politics. This is the only recap I'm going to give for the election. I can't stand. I mean, I just don't follow it anymore. It bothers me. I'm as political as you guys, where I have my side, and I get almost violently angry when people don't say what I say. And what I say is, it's all garbage. Those people are both fucking terrible. So don't vote. You don't have to vote for someone who's terrible just because someone else is more terrible. You don't have to be complicit. I mean, what would happen if a bomb went off at a debate? If a bomb went off, or if the structure collapsed, let's say that. Let's do it in a nice way. A fucking beam broke, and it fucking smashed the stage, and they're both just crushed. I mean, Trump and Hillary just fucking bleeding to death from a fucking structural damage thing. 1 in a million. It broke right there, and a moderator barely survived. I believe Mr. Trump still has a minute left. Choking my own blood. Like that. What would we do? What would we do as a people? I mean, obviously, a couple days, we'd celebrate. For sure. For sure, we'd celebrate for a couple days. And then after that, we'd have to figure it out. What would we do if it happened this late, where there's only a few weeks left before the fucking election? What would we do? Some people say, well, the vice presidents would take over. No, not yet. Not yet. I know if something happened to Obama, Biden would take over for the last couple of weeks. That'd be a cool short one, But these vice presidents haven't been voted in. They're not the president. They don't immediately take the mantle. We're not voting for the vice president. Vice president's like a backup quarterback. I mean, you want him to be good, but you're not. You're hoping he never plays a snap. You know what I mean? That's what you're hoping for. You're a dignitary. You never start a snap.
And so obviously you want a better one just in case the starter goes down. But you're hoping that when you vote, you're like, oh no, the starter's the guy I'm voting for. So the vice presidents wouldn't take over. Who would take over? Would you go to the guys who just lost the primaries before? Because you wouldn't go to like, oh, he won, let's do what he wanted. For the Republican Party, for the Democrat Party, let's not do what Hillary wanted. We haven't even decided she's the president yet. I'd go to the guy who came in second. Maybe they do that. Maybe they do that. So it's either the vice presidents or Bernie and Ted Cruz, Or maybe we would all just be like, hey guys, how about nobody? Maybe we don't need anybody. Maybe we can just not do this. We only got a couple weeks. Let's just not do this. They're both out. They're both out. And then Gary Johnson would be like, what about me? I'm still here. And we'd be like, shut up, Gary Johnson. We're working on this problem right now. We don't have time for you. I mean, who would we take? I mean, they might just go, if it happened like 2 days, let's say it happened 2 days before the election. 2 days before. Let's say that soon. Like, the election's on Tuesday. On Sunday, everybody hears. They're both gone. They're both gone. They had a meeting and the plane went down. They're both dead. What do we do? I bet they just nominate two random people. Yeah, you, Beardo. You're in on one side and this lady, she's into, pottery. That's something. And the guy, he likes collecting baseball cards. That's what you know about him. And I'd be like, well, I'm with Beardo. He's into baseball cards. Yeah, but I mean, pottery is more usable. Fuck you! Why would you use pottery over baseball cards? It's reminiscent of a time in this country when things were simpler. It's baseball cards. If you're not going for Beardo, you're get the fuck out of this country. People would do that for 2 days. And Gary Johnson had been like, guys, I'm right here. I literally was in third place. I was in third place. I was making... I said, shut the fuck up, Gary Johnson! I said, shut your fucking mouth! We don't have time for your fucking bullshit, fucking Gary-ass Johnson. Yeah. It's a fucking... You cannot be for either one of them. You can't, I mean... Trump is an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment. Oh, all these fucking women are lying. Yeah, maybe. Let's say there was. But who... That's the state we're in now. It's no woman wants to fucking have you in office being like that. You're not a role model. I know it's like, yeah, but you should be presidential. And then at the same time, fucking the other one, Hillary, what do you got with her? She wants to go invade Syria. She wants it so fucking bad. So if you vote for her, you're voting to invade Syria. You don't want to do that, do you? You don't want to vote to invade Syria. That's what you're going to do. You're going to vote to invade Syria. And you're going to vote to be in the pocket of big business. I know there's other stuff, but you're voting for those things too. You're voting for fucking women to get, time off after they have a kid. Also, don't get pregnant. How about that? We don't need your fucking kid. Stop getting so pregnant. Guys and girls, even if the guys get fucking... No more kids, you guys. We've got plenty. Stop it. Stop it. Don't. Why? Why are you having a kid? Stop it. Don't. Just don't. Well, I want to. I know. Don't. You have a job right now. You have a job to do. Don't stop and have a kid. You have a fucking job. That goes for the boys and the girls, because the guys can take maternity leave too now. It goes for them. No, you have a job. Well, no, I'm going to spend the next 6 months taking care of my kid. I'm a father. I want to connect to him. Yeah, no. But you have a job, so don't do that. You can't do that right now because you have a job. Or quit your job and go do that. If I want to travel the world, I don't get fucking travel leave. That's just something I want to do, so I fucking do it. You can't have a job anymore. Go travel, asshole. Leave us all here. We're going to fucking fill your position. Well, you want us to pay you while you're traveling? Oh, that'd be lovely. Can we have travel leave for the people who don't want kids? Who want to show what they're doing with their time? Instead of having kids, they're traveling the world. They're going to places like Thailand and having a good time at a full moon party. Can we get that leave? Hey, no, so tell you what. So I'm not going to have a kid and be a fucking burden on society. And have you guys have your taxes go to fucking educate my son, because I wanted to do this. Instead of all that, no, just pay me like, you know, I'm gonna go travel a little bit. Don't pay for the trip, but keep paying me at work while I'm on the trip. Travel leave. Yeah. Who can we talk to about that? I know you're like, but Trump hasn't said shit what he wants to do, and what Hillary wants to do is terrible. Some things are good. Okay, I'll give you that. Some things are good. But she wants to go kill a bunch of Syrians. It's going to be awful. You're voting for that. Or your other option is just don't vote. Say it'll get worked out. Mathematically, my vote doesn't count anyway. Too many people are voting. So you can just not do it. Trust me, in Hawaii, you can still go vote. They will have called the election. They will have said this person won, and you can vote then. So how does your vote count when they already told you who won and you can still vote? How is your vote counting? That is the same mathematically for everywhere. Your one vote does not matter. So even the swing states, your one vote doesn't matter. So just don't be involved. Let it get taken care of, and then you can say, well, I wasn't commiserate in it. I didn't vote for the invasion of Syria. No, I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for some guy who says grab him by the pussy. Grab her by the pussy. Now, first of all, you can't. It's not even makes sense. You can't grab negative space. You can't grab. You can grab an ear. You know, you can't grab a forehead. There's nothing to hold on to. Unless you use a fucking bowling ball grip. Get in there and just like get to the bedroom and just slide. Like, I don't think he meant that. I don't think he meant grab her by the pussy. I know you're saying, oh, somebody else said he grabbed. He didn't grab them by the pussy. He touched their vaginas. I think he was just saying, it's a term. And I think the reason he was using that term, grab by the pussy, I think, because if you recall, who was he talking to? Billy Bush. I believe he was trying to test to see if Billy Bush was a closeted homosexual. And he was saying things to test him to see if he would agree. And Billy Bush did agree. I think he was saying stuff like, yeah, what I like to do is I like to fucking, you know, cut some tit off and have it for leftovers. You know, day after Thanksgiving, I have to have some reheated fucking microwave tits. And Billy Bush is like, oh yeah, no, I love that. I love eating tits. Yeah, no, you cut it off, leftovers. Tits are great, heterosexual for sure. Yeah, I'm totally heterosexual. He's like, yeah, that's right, Billy. Do you like that? Yeah, you know what else I like doing? I like to grab a girl right by her pussy. Oh yeah, no, I totally love to grab pussy. Yeah, heterosexual for sure. I'm heterosexual. I'm Billy Bush. I'm heterosexual. Yeah. People forget too. Here's what I think. I don't think he was like, I mean, guys, those rich people are fucking dicks. That's what they do. They all grab and fucking take. Rich guys, you know what they'll do at bar? They'll find people's like numbers. They'll get their manager to find a girl's number and then reach out to them. They'll set it up like we want to hook up with them. That's what like famous people do. They live in other worlds. And models are just around them all the time. They're being presented to them. A guy like Trump, and I don't say you should act like that, but first of all, it was 25 years ago. That's Wall Street times. That shit was fucking different. It was cocaine era. It's different. I don't know how it was. I don't remember. I wasn't an adult, and I wasn't rich in that time. I don't know how it is, but I do know when 20 years pass, things are different. It's fucking time related. And I know it's like whatever. So let's say he wasn't doing any sort of sexual assault thing. Let's say he was just fucking boning a bunch of chicks. And I bet he probably still is. His main defense is like, look at her. She's not hot enough for me to hook up with. I think he's that guy. I think he's a bro dude. And you don't really want a bro dude as your president, right? Not that you shouldn't have it, but that's not something you feel like, oh, that's what I want. I want a bro dude as my president. So I wish it was somebody else other than Trump saying that Hillary Clinton is a fucking thieving, lying, sold out cheat. I wish it was somebody with a couple policies, somebody intelligent saying the same shit. And you know who else said it, I guess? Who did say that? Bernie Sanders said it. You know who else said it? Barack Obama said it. So I guess a couple people did say it. But nobody on the Republican side. I mean, the fact that she's up by like 3 points, how terrible is she? Anyway, so he's a bro dude. And you don't want that as your president, right? But you guys, they've always been bro dudes. Remember how you were surprised when you heard Tiger Woods was boning all those women? And then you thought about it for a little while and you sort of weren't surprised anymore because you realized, oh, it was just a public image he had of this clean-cut guy. But of course, he's one of the top athletes in the world. Of course he's fucking on the reg. A fucking Shakey's waitress? Come on. At work? So come on back. Psh. Do you remember Bill Clinton? Forget the other allegations. Forget all that. Forget all that. Oh, I heard those women made it up. Forget all that. Although, she fucking pressured those girls. I mean, those are people who claiming rape, and she was fucking discrediting them. If you stand for women's rights, that's not what you stand for. You don't stand for someone discrediting rape claims. Knocking their legs out from under them. Making them feel like shit. That's not how you want rape claims being treated. But it's some weird past with feminism with Hillary Clinton. She's not for you guys. What was I going to say? Oh, so forget all that stuff with Bill Clinton. Maybe let's say it was all made up. Let's say all that. Forget that. That's a guy who was fucking a chick, an intern, in the Oval Office with a cigar. I mean, he was like, sticking a cigar in and out of her pussy. Cigar fucking. That's the president. I know that's the kind of guy who is the president. He's a bro dude. He's happy to be in this position of power, and he's fucking. You got to think Obama's been doing it too, right? I mean, how long can you say no to puss when you are getting thrown at you? It's being vetted. Your hot girls are being vetted by the Secret Service. Psh, there's no way they take a selfie with you. No fucking way does that happen. I mean, maybe not. But from what I know about people, every time I hear it, it's like, oh, yeah, of course. You got to think at least one of Barack Obama's kids has a coke problem. At least one. They're the rich kids. They're in school at like Georgetown Prep or something like that. You got to think one of them got into blow. They hang out with all the other senator kids and the fucking like Bruce Springsteen's child, shit like that. That's who they're hanging out with. They all got money. At some point, one of them's getting into some coke. And then, doesn't know how to handle it. I'm sure there's still Excel and stuff, but come on, right? That fits a storyline. I'm not saying both of them. I'm not saying they even definitely did. I'm saying probably. That's who the president is. JFK was fucking a big movie star and everybody knew it. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that's what happens with the president. That type of dude is that dude. I also can't stand when people shit on Hillary Clinton and go, oh, she's not going to be able to handle it because, she's going to have her period and then public policy will be off, 4 days a month. We'll start a war during those 4 days or whatever is going to happen. Guys, fucking moron heads. Fuckface idiots. Listen to me. Listen to me very carefully. Hillary Clinton hasn't had a period in 25 years. She is a grandmother. Maybe not that long. But I guarantee you, when Hillary Clinton started menopause, you know what? I know when it was. Her hot flashes, the ripples of those created 9/11. That's probably right when it was. She was having those hot flashes. Oh, hello. What is that, spider? Right around, August of 2001, and it fucking created 9/11. The fervor. Dude, killing a spider is so rewarding. She doesn't bleed, you fucking idiots. And also, women know how to handle that. They compartmentalize. They can put fucking periods away. They're just like, I'm not going to fucking do this right now, or I'm used to the fucking emotion. I got to have that period podcast. I'm going to have it. I've already decided I'm going to have it. So it's coming soon, women. So you can just not vote. You can easily do that. And I know you're going to say, well, the other one's going to get in if I don't. No. I ask anybody who they're voting for, and almost everybody just shits on the other candidate. That's why they're voting for this guy, because the other person sucks. That's not. Yeah, that doesn't mean you're supporting someone. That means you're against somebody else, and you don't have to vote for a person you're against just because you're more against another person. Just don't be part of it. You know what kind of logic that is? That's fucking rebound dating logic. When you break up with a girl, You got this new girlfriend. People are like, what do you like about her? Well, she doesn't make fun of, she's not rude to waitresses. I'll tell you that much. Oh, weird. What? That's a weird thing to like about her. What else do you like about her? She enjoys reading, for one. No, that's a bad example, because that is a thing. She's not horrible at a conversation. What? I fucked it up. I think I already fucked up this analogy, but you get my point. So don't vote, you guys. This November 1st, join me in not voting. You can join for your local things if you know anything about them, which you don't. People are like, what about the local elections? What about the senators and the congressmen? We can change. But you don't even know what they stand for. You barely know what the fucking big people stand for. And they're in front of you all the time. You think you know what fucking some congressman stands for, who you're voting for? You're just voting for your party. You know you are. You don't know what they're into. Maybe the guy who's been around forever. You kind of like him because you've heard his name for the last 10 years. You don't know what they're into. Stop lying. Stop lying. You don't know. You did some research on your fucking local Senate, the county seat. You did some research on what each of those people stand for. No. You see the fucking signs in your neighborhoods, who's got signs in their lawn, and be like, oh, yeah, well, the Levies have a sign for, Jimmy Teitelbaum, so I guess, that guy's probably pretty good. That's all you go by. You don't know you don't know. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, stop it. Maybe you know one person. Maybe. And you're going to vote in all of them. You're just guessing. That's what you're going to do. Don't vote. Join me, everybody, as we wait for a better option. Let yourself be angry. Don't go vote. Don't vote and then be slightly appeased. If you go to an ice cream store and there's only fucking, burnt dog shit. What's that South Park did it the best? Giant turd or no, turd sandwich? Giant juice or turd sandwich. There's no reason to vote for either one of them. Join me in taking part. And people go, well, if you don't vote, you can't complain. Well, that's clearly been proven wrong, because I sure do and I sure can. And I'm done after this. I'm done with the election after this. I'm uploading this and I'm done. Not going to talk about it anymore. I don't care anymore. One of them would be terrible. I sure hope we don't invade Syria. But we're gonna. Man, she wants to. She's so fucking worried. She listens to everything they say, the CIA and all. Whatever they say, she's like, yeah, let's do that. We came, we saw he's dead. We came, we saw he's dead. That's what she said about Gaddafi. We went in there and made democracy go in there, and now there's just this giant civil war, and all their weapons have gone into Syria. This stockpile of weapons that no one's guarding anymore because they took over Gaddafi. They all went to Syria, or they went to ISIS. That's all. We did that. We came, we saw he's dead. Oh, I don't want to go to war with Syria. I'm done with these fucking wars. Anyway, so I'm done with this after this. But I'm telling you guys, don't vote. Join me. Join me. I planned something fun for November 1st. Plan something fun. Take pictures. Hashtag do not vote or something like that. I don't know. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the freedoms you have left, because you're not going to accept one of these two fucking awful people. Jill Stein seems like she's okay. Gary Johnson ain't the guy. He just has the right party. He's the same shit. He's not smart. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know who fucking whatever they say about him. He's not the guy. Jill Stein seems okay. She seems the closest one. I wonder who the next Bernie's going to be. They already got somebody down the pipeline, that you haven't heard of. Like, nobody heard of Bernie. I know he was there, but nobody was thinking about him fucking 10 years ago, but he was already in the pipeline. Who's already in the pipeline? Not nobody, but most people didn't know about Bernie Sanders until fucking 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Who's the next guy? So don't feel appeased. Feel like you were given no options and be angry about it. Don't feel like, well, I'm given no options, but, I did my part. No. Feel like you've been given no options and sit on that for 4 years. Get angry that you weren't even given a choice in this election. Any valid options. You weren't given either one of them. And just let yourself get angry. And then in 4 years, see if you get another option. And if no other good options are there, get even angrier. And then another 4 years pass, and maybe a little angrier. And at some point, when enough people get angry enough we'll get a good option. And then people will start pouring out. Say, finally a good option. I'm voting. I found a good option. I should be the president of Iceland. No. You guys, that's the episode. I got nothing left to say. I'm done with it now. I'm finished. It's good to get off my chest. I'm finished with it now. If I did vote, I'd vote for Donald Trump. Here's why. I believe a violent revolution is coming to this country, and I want a president who's not going to be able to handle it. It's the one thing they never ask the candidates. They ask them all these other questions. They're like, Trump, how would you deal with Syria? Hillary, we won't ask you that question. They never ask this one question. What are you going to do in times of revolt if the people rise up and try to take back power with force? How are you going to handle it? I think Hillary would crack down hard. And I think Trump would be like, I don't, this is weird. And he'd fucking get the fuck out of there. So he's our guy. That's right, you guys. I'm on Team Revolution. I'm not going to participate. No, I'm quite a coward. But I will be cheering them on. I'll be behind my locked door with an anonymous sticker. With a lolsec sticker on somewhere hidden that I can easily peel off and claim like I wasn't part of the thing if we start to lose. Oh, I'll be cowardly. I'll be quite cowardly. I'll be cheering them on for sure. I'll be like the guy at the marathon who doesn't run in the marathon, but who hands out cups of water to the marathon runners. Which is the least athletic thing you can do and still be athletic. That's what I figured out. That's the least. That's where you could say I did something athletic, and this was the least thing. And it's not even a full cup of water. It's not even a full cup of water. It's this little, the thinnest paper and the smallest amount. It's not even enough water to quench the thirst of a runner. It's not even enough water for that. Not even enough to quench it. It's just enough water to remind the runners what water would taste like. That's it. That's what I'll be to the revolution. They'll be like, oh, you part of the revolution? I'm like, no, I don't know you. No, I don't know you. No, I'm not anything. Yes, come on. Yes. Like when you're watching when you're watching like a Cowboys-Redskins game and you're in like a Redskins, that's a bad example. Redskins fans are nice. When you're watching a Raiders, anybody game, Chiefs, and you're a Chiefs fan and you're in the Raiders, but you don't want to get stabbed because they're so stabby, the Raiders fans, worst fans in the world. But you don't say anything. You just go like, every time the Chiefs score, you're like, damn it, yes, yes. Oh, fuck, it's so bad. The Chiefs scored and not the Raiders. Yes. Fuck yeah. Come on, Chiefs. That's how I'll be with the revolution. Until then, get mad, you guys. Get mad. You'll empower them with your anger. Kind of like Ghostbusters 2. The anger of the city makes them stronger. That's all that is, by the way, you guys. Trump and Bernie Sanders, it all comes from the same place. From like being disillusioned. Feeling like you're not represented in any way. I know people have turned this off a long time ago. It's fine. Don't forget, Bell House Tuesday night, tonight. The Bell House, 8 p.m. Get tickets at arithegreat.com and go to my special. November 5th in Austin, Texas at Cap City Comedy Club. I'll be there November 2nd through the 5th. Come on out. Enjoy yourself. If you can't come on the 5th, don't worry about it. Come any night. It's one of my favorite clubs in the country, you guys. The Cap City Comedy Club is amazing. It's an amazing club. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to be there for me. Yeah, it's just such a fun. That and Denver Comedy Works are my two favorite. So yeah, come on out. Any night is going to be a great night. That's it. I guess we're done. Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank. Episode 281. The Reyk with Ari Eldjarn. Oh, and on as we go, let's do another one of Ari's brothers. Hold on, let me find the name of the band here. I think this is Halder Eldjarn. This is his song. They have a band called Sicker. Sykur. Sicker. This is them. Yeah. Why not, you guys? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. This song's called Reykjavik. Perfect. For Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, episode 281. Here's Sicker, Sykur, which is Ari's brother, Halldor. They have so many dashes on our name. Yeah, song called Reykjavik. Here we go. The Reyk. Bye.